Westwood One.
In the face of uncertainty, some things remain steady, like the Cummins 2027 X15. Built on 25-plus years of experience and delivering up to 4% better fuel efficiency in a weight-neutral system, the X15 gives you the strength to move forward fearlessly and confidence that no matter the obstacle, you can and will rise above it. The 2027 X15, forever rising. Estimates based on preliminary testing. Individual results may vary.
I had the worst dream last night. You were in a car crash, and the kids and I were on our own. We had to move out of the house because I couldn't afford it anymore.
That's awful, hon.
My brother got life insurance from Ethos, and it only took 10 minutes. And he got $2 million in coverage for around $2 a day. It's all online. No medical exam. He just answered a few health questions right from his house.
Ethos, here we come.
Visit ethos.com/sports. Ethos.com/sports.
Sample rate is a 10-year term life policy for 35-year-old healthy, non-smoking male.
Wildcat Nation, are you ready?
Bradley down into the lane, lay it up and good. Previous turnaround jump hook is good. Del Orso springs a three out there and drains it. Nawaka takes away the rebound and slams it home. It's a man's game.
Bear down, Cats. Our Window Depot coverage of University of Arizona basketball begins with Meridian Wealth Management Arizona Game Day. The pregame show is brought to you by Meridian Wealth Management. Wealth well managed, life well lived. We are counting down to tip off for Arizona Wildcats basketball. This is Wildcats Radio, 1290.
Left corner Burries goes baseline inside. Trap off to Krivas, lay it up, good. Attack. Off to Del Orso, squares up, three ball, got it. Oh, that had to feel good.
Tickled the twine, Brian, and you'll love the shooter keeps shooting. Del Orso on the board.
Pete backdoor cut, Bradley reverse lane is good.
Circus shot from the main ring, Jaden Bradley.
Fire at left corner, Karchinkov for three, rims out no, and the rebound taken down by Krivas. Out top, Burries open three straight away, it is good! Burries with his fourth Lexus of Tucson Charity three. Handed off Karchinkov on the right wing. Yvonne out to the top, throw it inside, and there is Mo Krivas to slam it home.
Outstanding pass from Ivan Karchenkov.
More to the bucket, laid up, no good. A walk of the Arizona rebound. Head to Bradley, cancel the ball the other way. Jaden, lead pass to Koa Pete, lay it up and good.
No look, half court lob to your man, Mr.
Wow.
Arizona.
Wow. And that's going to be it. Fans to their feet. Beautiful afternoon here in the desert. And the Cats go to 20-0 on the season as they take out West Virginia. Final score today here at McHale Center in front of a sold-out house. Arizona 88, West Virginia 53, the final.
It was a beautiful day until it started raining cats and dogs later on Saturday night. But it is absolutely beautiful today, at least here in Tucson. But there's no game here in Tucson tonight. It is basketball night in Provo, Utah. Your number one Arizona Wildcats on the road to take on the 13th ranked BYU Cougars in the first major matchup of this Big 12 conference season for the unanimous and undisputed number one team in the country. Welcome to Meridian Wealth Management Arizona Game Day. I'm your host, David Kelly. We have got you for the next 3 hours. I've got the captain, Kelvin Ifan. He is here. I've got J.W. Madden with us. He is here. 520-848-12 number is 1290, I should say. 848-1290 is the number for you to get in on the program as we get you set for a 7 o'clock tip-off with Brian Jeffries and Reggie Gary tonight on the road in Provo, Utah, as Arizona going to be facing a monumental test and one of maybe, if not the best players in the country in A.J. Dybantsa, the fabulous freshman. This is going to be a game of fab freshmen tonight. It's going to be fun to watch. It'll be on ESPN nationally. All right, let's let you know what we've got coming up for you over the course of the next 3 hours of this show.
Let's take a look at the Right Way Rundown and see what's coming up on our pregame show. Brought to you by Right Way Heating, Cooling, and Plumbing. Doing things the right way.
All right, we will take a look back at the game on Saturday, a home win over West Virginia. We'll also get our first look at the BYU Cougars. Our first look at the game is brought to you by Window Depot. Kevin Young really has that team rolling this season, and he brings in NFL or an NBA, I should say, pedigree with him. We'll get our view from courtside, brought to you by Kaiser Garage Doors and Gates. Brian Peterson from AZ Desert Swarm will join us on the program. We'll get his thoughts on the Wildcats and how they're playing through the first 20 games, 20-0. We'll shine a spotlight on one of your Cats. How about another one of those fab freshmen we've been talking about, Dwayne Aristode. Ryan Hansen caught up with Dwayne Aristode, and that, of course, is brought to you every game by O'Reilly Chevrolet. DK, sort of with TL. We'll hear from the head coach of your Arizona Wildcats, a question that I might have asked him had I been in the press conference with him. And, of course, we'll revisit the three-point topic, since the Wildcats shot the three-pointer a whole lot better in the game against West Virginia than they had in the previous three Big 12 conference games. Your scouting report, Greg Wrubell is the voice of the BYU Cougars. We'll check in with him. J.W. Madden had a chance to chat with Greg Wrubell. We'll get his thoughts on tonight's game live from not live, but live, sort of live from the Marriott Center in Provo, Utah. Can we beat the book tonight? Arizona is a big favorite. Well, not big, 1.5. They are favorite, though, on the road tonight. A 1.5-point favorite over the BYU Cougars, who are the number 13 team in the country. So we'll find out if the Wildcats can beat that spread tonight, and we can beat the book here, Casino del Sol. Starting lineups, keys to the game brought to you by Royal Automotive.
By the way, it's a high of 40 and a low of 18 in Provo.
Okay.
You mentioned how good it was the other day in Tucson. Well, that's what they're dealing with up there.
There you go. No, that's not too bad. It's not snowing like crazy.
It depends
It's not Denver snowing, is it?
It depends how windy, really. The wind is really the big factor there.
Okay, there you go. Hopefully it's not snowing like it was in Denver. That got ugly during that AFC Championship game yesterday. Props to the New England Patriots and the Seattle Seahawks in games you heard right here.
I read
on Wildcats Radio 1290.
Not to get too off track, but I read that's the first USC quarterback to ever start a Super Bowl. How could that be?
Is that right?
That's what I read.
Yeah, that would be because I don't think Carson Palmer, he would be the next closest really.
That's just
good.
a crazy stat to me.
Absolutely. And to think he of all those guys drafted. So Baker Mayfield in that draft, Lamar Jackson in that draft, and there was one other big-time quarterback that he's the first one of all those guys to make it to a Super Bowl. Pretty impressive for Sam Darnold. You know who's pretty impressive for the Arizona Wildcats? Braden Burries. How about another 22-point performance? We talked about the three-point game getting back on track on Saturdays. The Wildcats hit 10 of 23 for 44%. They had been shooting below 30 for 3 straight games, so that is exactly what the doctor ordered. Braden Burries got it going early with a couple of three-point shots and before the first media timeout of the game, and Toby Awaka gave him all the credit.
He played well. He played great. He does what Braden does. You know, he's a tremendous scorer, uber talented, and, he shows it in practice and shows it in games. So just really what I expected, honestly.
Josh Allen, that was the other quarterback in that draft I was trying to think of from way back in the day. Josh Allen's come close but not been able to get there. So even more props now to Sam Darnold when you throw that name in there as well. All right, Braden Burries. Again, he has become the one of the breakout freshmen on this team after a little bit of a slow start. Braden says that everything that he does, every performance that he has is just building to what he wants the end game for this team to be.
To win the championship, honestly. I want to win the March Madness. I want to win Big 12. I want to see players on my team get drafted, and that's like my main goals for this year.
Yeah, I want to win the March Madness. I love when the kids say I want to. It's not we don't want to win the NCAA tournament or national. I want to win the March Madness. I love when the kids say that for sure. Tommy Lloyd on this young man, Braden Burries, who's just been absolutely fabulous of late for this team. It really started with the game against Alabama back in mid-December, and it's just kind of keeps crescendoing and keeps going up, and up, how up can it possibly go? Tommy Lloyd says he is putting no ceilings on how good Braden Burries can be.
I mean, Braden, you can see today he had a good little bounce in his step and a good rhythm to his game. And, I think he's just getting a lot of confidence. He's getting a lot of confidence. And, Braden has he has amazing instincts, for a young basketball player. Now I think he's layering that with some experience, where maybe he's understanding what's coming before it's happening a little bit more, and he's able to kind of manipulate certain situations. And, he's responding to situations in the game as opposed to reacting. So, that's a natural growth for a young player, and he's kind of in his sweet spot. I mean, I've always felt that, January would be a big month for him to make a big jump, and it looks to me like he is.
Do you remember the first time you saw him, and what were your impressions on that?
I mean, really good player. Probably first time I saw him was at one of those Section 7 tournaments up in Glendale, and you just saw a guard with good size, and just is he a point guard? Is he a 2? Those are great conversations to have. That means you have a really good player. And so we saw him early, and we identified him as somebody that we thought would be a great fit for us. And as we got to know him and his family, I mean, it was the perfect combination for us.
Kelvin, to kind of maybe put what the coach just said there in a football terminology, in terms of he's starting to see things before they happen. He's starting to read. He's starting to get his pre-snap reads down pretty good. Is Braden Burries, as maybe you can quote one of the quarterbacks of this offense?
Yeah, he's seen a lot now. His confidence is up. The teammates believe in him. He had some good games and big-time moments. So now it slows down for you a little bit. So in a situation to where now when you're on the court, your confidence is at an all-time high. So, yeah, he's like a running back that, that already got 1,000 yards, and now he's in a bowl game, and now he gets to just do whatever he wants to do. That's the comfortability that he's at right now.
Well, if you just think about smart young players who have high basketball instincts because of their fundamental work. I mean, you work on your fundamentals so that you're ready in games. Well, what do we talk about, DK? We talk about the speed of college being one step up or two steps up from what they might have ever seen in high school. So everybody's running around faster out there. The actions are much faster, and you really don't have time to think about it as much as react to it. So that's why you'll see freshmen sometimes be a little bit late on their recoveries on defense early. Maybe they make a pass that in high school would have gotten there. But coach is really just talking about Burry's instincts have always been there. Like Kelvin said, it's slowed down so much for him relative to those first 5 games. And right now, he's manipulating defenses based on seeing what they're trying to do, tricking them into thinking that that's what he's going to do, and then maybe a back cut or maybe a crossover to get to a different spot on the court. So really, really heady young player. It's just much slower for him than it was initially when he got to college.
The 8 3-pointers that he took on Saturday, that was the second most he has taken in a game this season. No surprise, the 10 he took came in the breakout game I spoke of back in mid-December against Alabama. And if there's anybody, guys, I mean, and we've talked about, obviously, one of the things we talked about at the beginning of the season, like who was going to be the 3-point threat on this team. Anthony Delorso may be one of those guys, but Braden's maybe the one guy. If we're talking about, okay, if you want to go out and set any type of tone, and obviously that's not the tone, and we'll hear, Tommy say that later on, maybe that's not the tone we want to set. It's not really who we are. But if there's a guy that can set the tone for this team being able to make 3-point shots, it's Braden Burries, simply because he's the guy that takes the most, and he's the guy in the starting lineup versus Anthony Delorso, who's coming off the bench.
He's also, Kelvin, much more of a 3-level threat than Anthony Del Orso is, and that's why Braden Burry sees the rim a little bit more out there, Kelvin, to me, from three, especially the threes he's been taking off the dribble, because he may get some kind of high ball screen action, and the defender can't get up in his face because he knows Braden has the ability to go right by him. He's really going hard to the rim, Kelvin, is what I'm seeing. So Braden Burry's right now is in that sweet spot where defenders just don't know exactly where he's trying to attack from. And last game out with those 2-3 principles they had at the top there, trading defenders, trading offensive players back and forth at the top of the key. Braden Burry saw some openings, Kelvin, and took full advantage of them and shot with confidence really early in that West Virginia game.
Yeah, no, I agree with you, J-Dub. I think that he's taking advantage of being around such great players that guys are worried about him making the pass, so it's opening up opportunities for him to score, and he's taking full advantage of it. I think Coach told him, I said, on this team, he's going to need a scorer. He's going to need a guy to replace a guy like Caleb Love. You can't do that with a guy that's not going to be aggressive. I think he's been the perfect guy because he has Bradley right there to do most of the point guard duties, and he can focus on being aggressive offensively.
520-848-1290, 520-848-1290 is the number if you want to get in on this basketball conversation before one of the biggest road games of the year for your Arizona Wildcats. They've been in some interesting road environments already this year. Obviously, they went to Storrs, Connecticut, and they've played on some neutral site, quote, road games in Los Angeles against UCLA, down in Birmingham against the Alabama Crimson Tide. But this is about as big as it gets so far, as you've got a couple of ranked teams that are sitting at the top of the Big 12 Conference right now. So wholly looking forward to this game here tonight between these two opponents. You'd love to see the Wildcats take care of the basketball like they did the other night. Just 5 turnovers for Arizona. Just 5. And they had just 1 in the first half of this game. Jaden Bradley on what led to this team's ability to take such good care of the basketball.
Just ball movement and spacing. We got a lot of big guards. Cole can play 1 through 3. Brady can play the 1 through 3, and a very versatile group, and we showed it tonight.
So, guys, when he talks about having that many guys that can play multiple positions, how does that play into a team being able to, say, possess the ball well and not turn it over in a double-digit manner?
Well, Kelvin, to me, it's what Coach Lloyd said in postgame after that West Virginia game. What he said was, passing is the number one valued skill on our program, right? And it's not just one guy or 2 guys that need to be able to pass. Everybody on the court needs to be able to make reads and be able to deliver the basketball, Kelvin, without the opponents getting their hand in there. And I think to a man, especially in that 8-man rotation, there's been a couple of maybe a little sloppy high turnover games for an individual here and there. But as a team, as a whole, for as much as they pass the ball around, their priority, Kelvin, is to make sure they don't fumble that football, make sure that they don't give the ball up. Turnovers are a huge priority right now, obviously.
Yeah, man, I just think that, man, when you have so many dominant offensive guys, aggressive, usually the freshmen are in a position where they have to try to pass more than they try to score. And Berries and P both can be aggressive offensively. So I think that helps with having less turnovers because they don't have to necessarily look to pass. They can be aggressive to look to score first, which really forces the defense to either open up passing lanes or give them driving lanes. So I just think that freedom of being able to be aggressive and being the top 2 offensive players on this team really has helped because Coach, what would you say, Coach gave them the green light.
Yeah, Coach said in his postgame, he said, our number one skill we require in this program is being able to pass the ball 1 through 5. So the biggest play to me, guys, in that last one out, I think it was Karchenkov was in the corner, and he went baseline, but I think it was Burries passed it to the spot in the corner like he was going to flare out for a 3. And they must have spent, Kelvin, 45 seconds right after that play talking to each other, using hand motions to make sure that they got on the same page so that play, were it to happen again, that they both had an instinctive understanding of where. Because in a motion offense, DK, it's not a matter of sets. I'm going to cut here and go there. It's a matter of reading the defense and then deciding what you're going to do based on what the defense is doing. And that's just what it is for 35 seconds. So everybody being on that's the most impressive thing about 5 turnovers. Is everybody being on the same page and understanding those reads before they happen is what leads to low turnover numbers.
520-848-1290 is the number to get in on the program. It is Meridian Wealth Management Arizona Game Day. It is the number 1 Wildcats and the 17-2 BYU Cougars tonight in Provo. Cougars 5-1 in conference. Wildcats 7-0 in the Big 12. Much more coming up for you straight ahead. We'll take our first look at tonight's game when we return. Calvin Ifan is here. J.W. Madden. My name is David Kelly. You're listening to Wildcats Radio 1290.
This is Meridian Wealth Management Arizona Game Day. Hour 1 of the pregame show is brought to you by Advantage Air and Mechanical, Cactus Auto Company, Casino del Sol, Done Right Services, Drain Masters, First Chiropractic, Idaho Central Credit Union, Jack Furrier Tire and Auto Care, Picture Rocks, Cooling, Heating, and Plumbing, Royal GMC, Buick and Cadillac, Royal Kia, Royal Jaguar Land Rover, The Window Depot, and by Meridian Wealth Management. Wealth well managed, life well lived.
Everyone loves a backyard barbecue, but who has the time? I'm Josh Bishop, owner of Fork and Fire in Oro Valley and Catalina. My brother, best friend, and I have been cooking for one another and our neighbors for years, and we still get to live our passion every day at Fork and Fire. In Oro Valley, you'll discover bold, smoky brisket, ribs, pulled pork, and many creative dishes paired with local craft beers on tap and specialty cocktails. Fork and Fire, your neighborhood backyard barbecue, where great food meets good times and strong community. Join us today at Fork and Fire, Oro Valley, and in Catalina.
At Goldberg and Osborne, we know Arizona. It's where we live. It's where we work. It's where we've fought and won cases for the injured since 1989. Throughout our history, we've approached every case with a single focus: you. And we've got thousands of 5-star reviews to prove it. Put us to work for you by calling 1-800-THE-EAGLE today.
The holidays are over, and right now is the best time to start your home renovation project. At the Window Depot, you get factory direct prices, no installers, no middleman, and serious savings. Windows, doors, cabinets, countertops, all in stock and ready to take home today. Perfect for DIYers and contractors who want to save thousands and get materials fast. New year, new projects at the lowest prices. Shop online at thewindowdepot.com or visit a location near you.
Every day is a balancing act, with work, family, goals, all asking for more. It helps to have tools that meet you at every step and a team that will always be by your side. We're ICCU. We're a credit union that has been helping members achieve financial success since 1940. In fact, we put member success first, one by one, year after year, for 85 years and counting. Now, we're here for you, Tucson. Join us, ICCU.
Essential Pest Control leaves bugs belly up with science.
You mean they don't use yesterday's newspaper?
No, they use the latest in technology and innovation to eliminate bugs, bees, termites, weeds, and more.
So no as seen on TV salt guns?
Nope, only solutions that target insect biology, using chemistry to help protect the environment, people, and their pets.
You are so smart.
Essential Pest Control leaves bugs belly up. Call 886-3029 or visit essentialpest.com.
It's your time to shine. This is Desert Diamond Casino, the spot with Arizona's only hometown sportsbook, the hottest slots and tables, and off-the-charts energy you won't find anywhere else. Here, there's always a fun-filled, action-packed, downright unforgettable night right around the corner. So let your hair down, turn the sparkle all the way up. It's time to live the diamond life. Desert Diamond Casino.
An enterprise of the Thana Ogden Nation.
Now that's what I call savings. If you're looking for a real truck, get up to $7,500 off a new 2026 Chevy Silverado, plus up to $2,500 off a 2026 Chevy Equinox, and $8,500 off the Equinox EV. It's all happening now at O'Reilly Chevrolet. Truck tough deals, real savings. Call us at 747-8000 or see us on Broadway next to Park Place Mall or on the web at O'Reilly.com. O'Reilly Chevrolet. Together, let's drive.
O'Reilly Chevrolet.
The cold Arizona nights are here. Is your furnace ready? For just $59, Rightway is offering a complete system tune-up, ensuring your furnace runs efficiently to keep your home comfortable all season long. Routine maintenance is key to avoiding costly breakdowns. And with over 11,000 five-star Google reviews, you can trust Rightway to get the job done right. Plus, we'll include a free carbon monoxide test for your peace of mind. Call Rightway today at 520-640-2665 or visit us at rightwayac.com for your $59 complete system tune-up.
It's time to take our first look at today's game. Brought to you by The Window Depot. The Window Depot. Lowest prices and biggest inventory. Shop thewindowdepot.com.
Arizona and BYU tonight is the ball game in Provo, Utah, national television for these two big heavyweights of the Big 12 Conference. BYU coming off a home win against Utah, and their star freshman, A.J. Dybantsa, put on an absolute show.
A.J. on the arc will shoot it and score it for three. A.J. Dybantsa with his first three of the day. Dybantsa on a back down from the perimeter, sees a double, spins through it, knocked out of his hands, gets it back, and drives for two. A.J. Dybantsa with a left-hand scoop and score. A.J.'s got 35. He's never had more for BYU. Step back triple. Again! A.J. Dybantsa, 38 points, and that is a new single-game freshman record. A 3:15 game clock. A.J. into another three. Again! 41 for Dybantsa. We've never seen a freshman at BYU with a 40-piece until today. By the way, A.J.'s 14 field goals tie a freshman record, and he just breaks the record with a driving dunk with the right hand. A.J. Dybantsa with the exclamation point.
I mean, what a performance it was in that 91-78 win by the Cougars over BYU. Cougar freshman scoring record, you heard there. Cougars have now won 6 straight games over the Utes at home. A.J. Dybantsa, 24 of his game-high 43 points came after halftime, a career-high 4 3-pointers. It was also the third game this season he's had with 30 or more points. That's another BYU freshman record held by a guy by the name of Mikelly Wesley, and another guy by the name of Danny Ainge, who I'm sure you've all heard of that one right there. Guys, this is a kid. This kid, I mean, just watching some of his tape, I mean, wow, he gets to the basket. And he's not a big kid. The first thing that stands off to me is like he's kind of skinny, he's kind of lanky, but man, can he take the ball to the hole and break people down off the dribble? And then I was a little surprised he's pretty good at shooting the three too.
Yeah, I think he may be a little thicker than you think. I mean, he's not a skinny guy, you know. I mean,
I don't know, man. He looks kind of skinny to me.
Yeah.
He's kind of Jaden Bradley lean.
Yeah, I can see that, but we'll see tonight how big he really is up against, them Wildcats, man, because we know the size of our guys. But
what are the numbers? I want to see what the numbers say.
It's 210, but 210. I think the big issue here is he's 6'9", so you don't see a guy that tall move as fluidly as he does. It's very similar to what we see with Koa Pete. So I think AJ looks skinnier than he actually is, and he's going to put on a ton of weight because 6'9", Kelvin, I mean, you could see him filling out and playing at maybe like 235 or something, like maybe even a LeBron size type thing. He definitely has the frame to put on a lot of muscle, but he's very strong. But Kelvin, it's like that wiry strength, and certainly at the age of 18, he's going to fill out a little bit more, but he can move some guys around with that body.
Yeah, he reminds me of Jamal Mashburn for the people who can go back and think of, how he played back in Kentucky back in the day, and he led them to a national championship. But no, man, this kid is legit, man. I mean, got a great family behind them. They moved all the way from New York to Utah to pursue his basketball dreams at prep school, and then he chose to stay at BYU because he knew they would showcase his offense. He knew that Coach Young had the type of offense that could showcase his NBA abilities, where he can handle the ball and get in one-on-one isolation situations and basically attack you. I mean, yeah, he's a good three-point shooter, but he don't really shoot a lot of threes. No. He really gets downhill, gets fouled, and gets to the free throw line. I mean, this guy probably have more free throws than most guys have shots taken.
Yeah, the most impressive thing to me, actually, looking at his game log, is how few threes he's taken. He has the ability to knock that shot down, but his strengths really rely on getting that shoulder past the initial defender. He's a good facilitator. That's only going to improve as he sees the court better, but he's had a 10-assist game this year, guys. I mean, so when he's surrounded by talent, he clearly has the ability to see the court and find cutters, find open shooters. But, Kelvin, what makes A.J. Dybantsa so special is his shot making. I mean, he's legit 6'9", very athletic player, and his ability to hit those fadeaways, to get space, you can't block his shot. You can't put a bigger guy on him. They're not quick enough. You can't put a smaller on a guy. You just shoot right over the top. He's one of those players who, with his size, creates real matchup nightmares because of his skill set and because of his ability to make tough shots. And not settling, Kelvin, for those three-pointers is probably the most impressive thing. 7 he took 2 games ago against TCU, but other than that, his highs are 4, 4, 4, 5, 4, 4. So this isn't a guy who shot 10 threes in a game, isn't relying upon that to get his 23.5 points per game. Just a really efficient scorer, 55% on the season for the freshman.
Let's hear from A.J. Dybantsa on his big night against the Utes.
When I hit like 26, I had him and Tyler was saying like, yo, keep being aggressive. But Tyler actually said, yo, you better get 40. And I looked up at the scoreboard and there was like 11 minutes left. And I was like, I might be able to get it. And I kept going off. I kept hitting shots.
AJ, I'm guessing the answer is no, but maybe it's yes. You were part of a day that is actually pretty historic here. Keaton Wagler at Illinois, 46 at Purdue. And then Kingston Flemings at Purdue. Kingston Flemings dropped 42 at Texas Tech. It might be the first time ever that 3 freshmen have dropped 40-plus on the same day. Did you know about either of those before this game was played?
Yeah, we're actually watching Tech versus Houston. So I seen Kingston live when he hit that 42 mark. And I was like, yeah, these freshmen going crazy. Like, I feel like we have a crazy class. I think we have one of the best classes in recent years.
What does it feel like to be a part of that freshman class?
I mean, it feels good. I've been playing against these guys since I was 15, starting at EYBL and different camps, Nike academies and Curry camps and stuff like that. So I've done seeing these guys grow, and it's just amazing to be a part of it.
Yeah, in case you missed it over the weekend, so we were actually watching the Illinois game. Keaton Wagler, freshman, scored 46 points for Illinois. And then Kingston Flemings is a freshman at Houston. He had 42 points. And it said, per ESPN research, it's the first day in at least the last 20 seasons in which multiple D1 freshmen have scored 40 points in a game. 3 of them did that on Saturday.
Well, think about it. Like in the 90s, it was go straight to the NBA, right? Kobe didn't play, LeBron didn't play. All those guys, like those guys that could have, Kelvin, put 40 up, they often didn't even go to college. And before that, Kelvin, I mean, you weren't up there to shoot 20 times as a freshman. You were there to learn for the most part. So it's not surprising to me that you haven't seen that, but it's pretty obvious, Kelvin, that the guys coming into college right now are so ready-made skill-wise and fundamental-wise to be able to put up big games like this. Because, if you might have been watching AAU ball 20 years ago and thought they focus more on dunks and they're not super fundamental-based, well, that's changed. I mean, the guys coming out, Kelvin, from the circuits and what they're getting coaching from the summers, in addition to their coaches, obviously, back home in their high schools, I'm just seeing a ton of talent that's ready-made to step into this role and be a go-to scorer from day one in college. And that might have not been the case 15 years ago.
Yeah, man, it's a lot of basketball families now. It's guys who dad went to college or played some pro across seas, even some NBA guys. All their kids are playing now. There's basketball academies, kind of like how they, had in Europe, but or have in Europe. We have a lot of them now in America, whether it be the prep schools or whatnot, or even the major AAU programs that they have with professional coaches that get paid now, high salaries, getting paid from the shoe companies and different things like that. So I just think that I've heard a lot of talk about AAU and stuff, but I've been very happy with how a lot of the guys have been looking as freshmen is showing that they know how to play team ball. They're not just one-on-one guys jacking shots. They're true guys that's coming out to win.
Before we hear from Kevin Young on his star freshman, let's pause 10 seconds for station identification. You're listening to Meridian Wealth Management, Arizona Game Day. KCUB Tucson, a Cumulus Media station. The Wildcats Radio 1290 studios are brought to you by ICCU at ICCU.com. Along with Kelvin Efon and JW Madden, my name is David Kelly. It is Meridian Wealth Management, Arizona Game Day, getting you set for number 1 Arizona at number 13 BYU. Can we call them Brigham Young? Will they get mad at us because we say Brigham Young and not BYU? I don't know if they have anything in their notes.
They will not
about
get
that.
mad at you, no. No. If it was
not
Eastern,
Central
if
Florida?
it was Eastern or Central or Northern
Right.
Brigham Young, maybe.
Okay, maybe. Kevin Young brings an NBA pedigree to his head coaching position at BYU, was once on the staff with the Phoenix Suns as an assistant. He talks about the performance of his freshman, A.J. Dybantsa.
I was impressive, while he was doing it. In my mind, I was like, man, this is a special player. I've said it a lot. I think he's hands down the clear-cut number 1 pick in the NBA draft upcoming, and it was on full display tonight. He was doing it every which way. And I think the thing I like about it more than anything is, it's coming off his worst performance of the year. He wasn't good at Texas Tech, and came out tonight with unfazed and had a clear want to just go out and dominate a game, and he got going.
Yeah, he had 10 straight games in which he had scored 20 or more points for BYU until he hit that speed bump at Texas Tech, going 6 for 17 and finishing with 13 points, and follows that with a 43-piece against the rivals from Salt Lake City. One guy that knows a little bit about A.J. Dybantsa, Arizona's own Koa Pete. They have history.
Good friend of mine, really talented, really lengthy, he's a good player. I've been playing against those guys my whole life, so, especially at the USA camp. So obviously, we're going to meet when you're top of the class. So I'm excited to, go up in Provo and say what's up to him and play against him.
Guys, do you think, with all these freshmen scoring 40 now, is that putting any pressure on our guys to throw up a 40-piece?
No.
Braden, Koa?
No, because Kelvin, to a man, all they've talked about is winning basketball. So if you had heard, Ivan Karchenkov and Koa Pete and Braden Burries and Dwayne Aristode come in, and every interview they said, I can't wait to get my 40-piece, then maybe. But Kelvin, all I've heard is we're just trying to get that W.
Yeah, I think that what matters to them, the numbers that matters to them, is that number 1 in front of their name as being number 1 in the country, and getting and hopefully winning the Big 12 and getting a chance to make a run in the Final Four. So I think if you look at the way these guys played, so many different guys leading the team in scoring on different nights, I think the proof is in the pudding.
Let's hear from A.J. Dybantsa on his buddy Koa Pete.
It's going to be a tough game, but this is what you live for. This is why I came to the Big 12, to play teams like this. Obviously, I've known Koa for the past 3 years, winning 3 gold medals with him. I've been playing against Braden Burries with SFG, guys like that. It's going to be a great environment. We're looking to hand them their first loss. Maybe our center's going to be behind us, and we're prepared for them.
Again, these are 2 young men that have come up in that under-19 system together, both played for Tommy Lloyd last summer on that team. So, again, you got to believe that there's going to be a high level of competition when those 2 guys compete against each other tonight. That's going to be fun to watch.
I did bring you and Kelvin and our listeners a present, which is from the mouth of the man himself.
Dybantsa. Just forget the T's there. It's silent. Dybantsa.
Dybantsa. There you go. A.J. Dybantsa. He is a player for sure. He is a player for sure. All right, Arizona, BYU, 7 o'clock tip-off in Provo.
That's our first look at the game. Brought to you by the Window Depot. The Window Depot. Lowest prices and biggest inventory. Shop thewindowdepot.com. This is Wildcats Radio 1290.
And don't forget, Window Depot is also the sponsor of our glass cleaner of the game. Arizona's top rebounding performance every single night might be the Wildcat who grabs the most boards, could be the U of A star who has the most impactful picks off the glass. We'll tell you the Window Depot glass cleaner of the game coming up later tonight. Meridian Wealth Management, Arizona Game Day, the post-game show. 520-848-1290 is the number you want to call. You want to text your thoughts on Arizona basketball. Chime in on our YouTube channel, Wildcats Radio 1290. You can watch the show there. Our app, download it, Wildcats Radio 1290. You can chime in there by way of text, by way of audio, by way of video or pictures. If you're at the game tonight, if you're going to the game at BYU tonight, shoot us a picture and put it up on our app so we know exactly where you are and what you're doing in support of your Arizona Wildcats. When we come back, we'll get Brian Peterson's thoughts on this 20-0 Wildcats club. He writes, he's the senior writer for AZ Desert Swarm, writes all things Arizona men's basketball. It is Meridian Wealth Management Arizona Game Day, coming right back to you after this on Wildcats Radio 1290.
At Goldberg and Osborne, we know Arizona. It's where we live. It's where we work. It's where we've fought and won cases for the injured since 1989. Throughout our history, we've approached every case with a single focus: you. And we've got thousands of five-star reviews to prove it. Put us to work for you by calling 1-800-THE-EAGLE today.
The garage is more than a place to park your car. It holds prized possessions, and for most, it's a bustling entryway to the home. That's why LiftMaster designed the first ever opener with a built-in wide-angle camera and two-way audio, so you can see what matters and secure what's inside. Ensure your family and prized possessions are secure with a reliable garage door opener that's built to last and powered by MyQ for smartphone control. The team at Kaiser Garage Doors and Gates are your locally owned LiftMaster professionals. Visit kaisergarage.com to learn more.
We are the rush, the pulse, the thrill you didn't see coming. Welcome to Club Soul at Casino del Sol, where Tucson's best just got better. Join Club Soul today and get $20 free play. That's right, your first play is on us. Play, earn, and unlock exclusive rewards that take your experience to the next level. More thrills, more perks, more of what makes Casino del Sol unforgettable. We are Club Soul, only at Casino del Sol and Casino of the Sun. Enterprise of the Bosco Yaqui Tribe.
Experiencing the natural wonders comes easy at Rocking K. Nestled at the base of the Rincon Mountain foothills, enjoy stunning mountain views up close every day. In the top-rated Vail School District, Rocking K is close to work, shopping, and services. Tour 18 model homes by top-tier builders, offering move-in ready homes and special incentives. LiveRockingK.com. Proud U of A radio broadcast sponsor.
Hughes Federal Credit Union has an online account that fits your needs and lifestyle. With our free checking account, there are no monthly fees and no minimum balance. 24/7 mobile and online banking, unlimited bill pay, a free Visa debit card with your choice of designs, and a vast network of fee-free ATMs. Or upgrade to a checking plus rewards account that offers discounts, deals, valuable services, and so much more. It's easy to sign up online at hughesfcu.org/checking. Certain restrictions apply. Insured by NCUA.
Now that's what I call savings. Looking for strength and value? Get $2,000 off a new 2025 Chevy Trailblazer, $3,000 off a 2025 Chevy Traverse, and up to $4,500 off a 2025 Chevy Colorado. That's real muscle, real savings. Right now at O'Reilly Chevrolet. Call us at 747-8000, see us on Broadway next to Park Place Mall, or on the web at O'Reilly.com. O'Reilly Chevrolet. Together, let's drive.
O'Reilly Chevrolet.
My heat and air were in a state of disrepair.
As the new year begins, Picturox Cooling, Heating, and Plumbing would like to thank you for allowing us to serve Tucson and the surrounding communities for the past 25 years. Whether it is a small water leak or a full air conditioning replacement, we do it all, big or small. For professional service, call Picturox Cooling, Heating, and Plumbing at 520-492-0748 or make your appointment online at picturoxcooling.com.
Picturox Cooling, Heating,
From offices and warehouses to retail spaces and restaurants, the right lighting transforms your environment. At Arizona Commercial Lighting, we've been proudly locally owned and operated for nearly 40 years. Our extensive inventory of in-stock lighting solutions is designed to meet both commercial and residential needs, with quality, variety, and value you won't find anywhere else. Visit us at 1436 East 17th Street or explore our offerings online at azcommerciallighting.com. Be sure to ask about available TEP rebates. Arizona Commercial Lighting, powering business through precision lighting.
Our Window Depot coverage of U of A basketball continues. This is the Meridian Wealth Management Arizona Game Day pregame show on Wildcats Radio 1290. Now, back to your hosts, David Kelly, the captain Kelvin Yvonne, and J.W. Madden.
High post to Waka, swing it up to Burries, slides out top, drives into the paint, underneath to Bradley who lay it in.
Simple back cut after the drive to the lane, and what you mentioned, Brian, find a seam the West Virginia defense breaks down.
It's time now for us to take you down to the front row of the arena. A view from courtside is brought to you by Kaiser Garage Door and Gates. Kaiser serving Southern Arizona over 30 years.
Jaden Bradley, 9 of 13 from the floor this season in what college basketball analytics likes to call clutch time scoring. 69% for Mr. Jaden Bradley. Let's take a view from courtside. Gentleman who covers your Arizona Wildcats joins us now. His name is Brian Peterson. AZ Desert Swarm is the website. They cover all things Arizona athletics from the men's side to the women's side. A busy time of year for all those folks over there. Brian, Kim, Juan, and everyone else that contributes, Ezra, to that fabulous website. Brian, your top takeaways from this 20-0 start to the season for Arizona basketball?
The top takeaway is that so far there hasn't been any sort of glaring flaws that have stood out, which has been surprising considering that half the rotation is freshmen. And you kind of get to a point where you almost want to see a flaw if you're Arizona, so that you can actually figure out what desperately needs to get fixed sooner rather than later. And we actually ran something over the weekend about, when that first loss comes, it can actually be a good thing because it provides at least some form of a blueprint that opponents will try to exploit, and therefore also Arizona can try to address. To this point, there may be minor things here and there, but there hasn't been anything that has really stood out, which is a testament to how good the team is, and that if something goes wrong or a player has a bad game, it hasn't mattered. But at some point it will. So, they need to see what that is and learn from it.
Well, it's interesting, Brian. One of the things that we've talked about the last couple of games, and I've kind of pointed to, and a lot of the national pundits have as well, is that obviously the one thing from the beginning with this team is that they don't shoot a lot of three-point shots. And I've always said that's fine because, with what three-pointers they were shooting early on, they were making about 38% or so, and then that's a good percentage. The last 3 games prior to Saturday, though, they had been shooting under 30% on the threes they were taking. So to me, it was a concern that they weren't making the three-pointers that they were taking. Not so much how many they take, whether that's 5, 10, 15, but they weren't making them at the rate they had been before. That's one of my biggest concerns. So as you look at it, what is maybe the one thing you're pointing to and said this could be that thing that trips them up?
Well, yes, and the three-point situation is something that could be an issue if they are forced into a situation where they need to take more threes than normal, and they can't hit at that rate. And if you notice, most of the teams across the country that have had that bad game, whether it be Purdue or Michigan, things like that, it's teams when they have a volume of three-point shooting and they shoot a lot and they have a bad game, they don't have something else to overcome that. But since Arizona regularly takes less than 30% of their shots from three, then they can overcome the bad shooting much better than others because they're not so reliant on it. If they have a game where they're struggling from inside the arc and outside the arc, well, then they don't have that bounce back. And they've had some games where the offense hasn't been great, but thankfully the defense and the rebounding have still been there. That was the case for most of the point against Cincinnati and even back when they played San Diego State, that they've been able to overcome those. But if this were a team like Alabama, who shoots 40 or 50 threes a game, if they're shooting only 25% or 30, they're still making a lot, but they're also taking so many of their shots from there that they're not getting their points from anywhere else. And Tommy Lloyd even pointed it out after this last game. He kind of joked about seeing the placards on the seats saying, a 3, and he said that the marketing should really say paint 2s and 1s.
Exactly.
Because that's just where they get their points from. And really, until someone forces them to not get their points from there, it's not going to be as much of an issue. But eventually, there's going to be a game where they can't score inside at will, and they're going to need to make threes.
We're chatting with Brian Peterson. He runs AZ Desert Swarm. It is your view from courtside, and it's brought to you by Kaiser Garage Doors and Gates. Kaiser has been serving Arizona now for over 30 years. Brian, this freshman class, and then we kind of broached this subject over the weekend when we were talking, and when you look at all the four of these freshmen, and each of them have had their days, whether that's Braden Burries, whether it's Koa Pete, Dwayne Aristote, even Ivan Karchinkov. To me, I think Ivan has been the most consistent of these four from game to game, even though maybe Braden and Koa at times chart higher and are more thought of higher in a higher sense than Ivan. But to me, Ivan's been the one that's kind of gotten it done every single game. Hasn't had a lot of games where he's not performed well. How have you seen his play through these first 20 games?
I would tend to agree with that because of what is being expected from him. He's not expected to be providing a lot of points and a lot on the offensive end. So when he's doing somewhere between 8 and 12 points, if he's at the 8 or he's at the 12, you don't really notice too much of the difference. But he's also factoring in as far as he's usually guarding one of the better guys on the perimeter, and he will again in this game, either AJ Dybantsa or Richie Saunders, or even both, depending on the situation. And so, and his intensity and all of that is there no matter what, and it's not as dependent on being a big scorer or a big rebounder. He's kind of doing a lot of those glue things like Dalen Terry had done during the early part of his career. And I think that really does stand out for it. Yes. I mean, and Koa and Braden have both had down games, but they still win those because, and that's such the beauty of this team, is that like they've had games where 2 dudes are off, but because they are regularly relying on 6 or 7 people to be spreading things out, 2 others end up standing out, and Karchenkov has been one of those sometimes.
What are your impressions of this young freshman we're going to see today on the other side, AJ Dybantsa?
I mean, he's spectacular with everything he can do, and the way he is able to handle the ball at 6'9" on the outside, but not as so much as a point guard, as more just like these NBA players like a Kevin Durant or whatever, who can move so well despite the fact that they are as tall and as long as he is. This last game, he took 5 threes and made 4 of them, and I know that the 3-point thing had maybe been one of his few areas that he wasn't taking as many shots and making as many, and that kind of stretches out his game a little bit. I do think, though, that there is the opportunity that if they force him into bad shots, then it could cause issues for BYU as a whole, because he did not have a good game against Texas Tech, and that did play a big role in it. So they're going to focus a lot on him, but BYU has 3 really good scorers, so they can't overload on him. I think they're going to try as much as possible with the 3, Dybantsa, Robert Wright, and Richie Saunders, to just guard each of them very closely. With one person, they can't really afford to double any of them.
Would you say Robert Wright III, was that the biggest, quote, transfer portal pickup of any team in the Big 12 this year, or do you think there's a better one?
I'd have to really think to see if there's anyone else, but I think when you pair him up with Dybantsa and having Saunders back, I really feel like I said this the other day. It's hard to consider the fact that they upgraded at the point guard, considering that their previous point guard was a lottery pick in Egor Demine, but he has been because of all the things he can do in addition to running the point with his ability to get downhill and all of that, and that he takes attention away from Dybantsa. So many times you see these guys, and you're seeing it even with a team like Duke, where Boozer has been so good, but it's like Boozer and four guys. And you go back to like the Ben Simmons days or the Markelle Fultz days at Washington, and you have this really, really good guy who's going to be a high draft pick, and then four dudes watching him play, almost like they want to see what it's like to watch what it's like to play with a top NBA player, and those teams struggle. And Wright prevents that from happening, that Dybantsa isn't the only guy out there. And I think he's been a huge part of this.
We're chatting with Brian Peterson. He is the site manager, lead sports writer, AZ Desert Swarm. It is your view from courtside. It's brought to you by Kaiser Garage Doors and Gates. Kaiser has been serving Arizona now for over 30 years. All right, Brian, let's talk about the fun stuff. What's it like to run a website like AZ Desert Swarm?
I wish I could say that I was more involved in the nuts and bolts, but there's really, I just post stories and they show up, and I'll never consider this a job because I'm getting paid to watch sports. It's fun being able to kind of collaborate with my other writers and making sure that we're hitting everything, not just men's basketball and football, that we're covering all the other sports, and just providing people with the information that they want and the stories they want in the community, whether it be here in Tucson or U of A alums elsewhere. And I've always enjoyed doing that, of letting people know about what's going on with the teams they care about. But again, I'm getting paid to watch sports. So that's what it comes down to.
If you follow him on Twitter at is the real BJP, I believe it is, Real BJP on Twitter. You also know he could be the guy driving you around via Uber. We talked about this last week. I said, Nick, when we get Brian on, I got to ask him, what's this time of year like for you when Gem Show comes to town?
Gem Show basically means that I am going to kind of be like the United Nations. I'm going to drive people from at least a half a dozen different countries during these next few weeks, if not more. I've already driven people from Hungary and the Philippines from the early days, and I find that really fun because I'm just getting to meet people from all over, and just tourists in general. I love being able to talk about Tucson and the things that are going on here, but it definitely, it also adds a lot of congestion on the streets, so it can take a little bit longer to get around, but at some point during these next few weeks, I'm going to have some like large boulders loaded into the back of my vehicle, which is also an interesting thing. But it's definitely a unique time. When I started doing this 9 years ago, it will actually be 9 years tomorrow.
Wow.
It was right before the Gem Show. So some of my first rides were Gem Show people. So it's always been an important time of the year for doing this.
And obviously you do a lot around the campus area, so I'm sure and you've mentioned before you'll get some of the athletes at times. Do they recognize you?
Occasionally, and when I drive for that, I'm driving like I'm not like trying to get information out of them. Sometimes they tell me things without me asking,
right.
And I consider that off the record, and I may ask about it later on to confirm stuff. I mean, a good example was when Wendell Moe was here his freshman year. He didn't play his first few weeks, and then suddenly he was like in the starting lineup, and I ended up driving him one time, and I just kind of made mention and go, wow, you've really been, getting in there now, and you hadn't before that. And he goes, oh yeah, I had a concussion at the beginning of the year. And I'm like, oh, okay. and he, yeah. And it was, and so it's like, okay, well, and he had told me that it was essentially because he was riding on a scooter through campus and got hit by a car.
Oh gosh.
And I'm like, oh. So later on, I, maybe the following spring, I'd be like, so, can you discuss why, you weren't able to get in there until later in the season? rather than just be like, hey, did you have a concussion? So still offering the opportunity for him to discuss it, even though I already did.
That's awesome. That is great to hear. Brian Peterson, ladies and gentlemen. It is AZ Desert Swarm. Again, they do a fabulous job of covering all things Arizona athletics, and you can follow him at The Real BJP. He tells great stories about life as a sports writer and an Uber driver here in Southern Arizona. Do you do Lyft too, or is it just Uber?
Just Uber.
Okay.
Just Uber, and occasionally Instacart when my OCD wants me to go into a store.
There you go. Brian, appreciate you as always. We'll talk again soon.
Thank you.
That's your view from courtside.
We hope you enjoyed your view from courtside. It was brought to you by Kaiser Garage Door and Gates. Kaiser has been serving Southern Arizona for over 30 years. This is Meridian Wealth Management Arizona Game Day. Hour 1 of the pregame show is brought to you by Advantage Air and Mechanical, Cactus Auto Company, Casino del Sol, Done Right Services, Drain Masters, First Chiropractic, Idaho Central Credit Union, Jack Furrier Tire and Auto Care, Picture Rocks Cooling, Heating, and Plumbing, Royal GMC, Buick and Cadillac, Royal Kia, Royal Jaguar Land Rover, The Window Depot, and by Meridian Wealth Management. Wealth well managed, life well lived.
At Goldberg and Osborne, we know Arizona. It's where we live. It's where we work. It's where we've fought and won cases for the injured since 1989. Throughout our history, we've approached every case with a single focus: you. And we've got thousands of 5-star reviews to prove it. Put us to work for you by calling 1-800-THE-EAGLE today.
Up your game in a new Buick or GMC from Royal Buick GMC. At Royal, we always deliver a quality vehicle at a great price. Score a great deal with our no-pressure, non-commissioned sales staff and our transparent online pricing. Plus, Royal offers a 72-hour buyback guarantee. Score big at Royal Buick GMC, the dealership that's different. See dealer for details. Royal Buick GMC in the Tucson Auto Mall or RoyalTucson.com.
The holidays are over, and right now is the best time to start your home renovation project. At the Window Depot, you get factory direct prices, no installers, no middleman, and serious savings. Windows, doors, cabinets, countertops, all in stock and ready to take home today. Perfect for DIYers and contractors who want to save thousands and get materials fast. New year, new projects at the lowest prices. Shop online at thewindowdepot.com or visit a location near you.
JT Auto, where their customers are family. Stop by their newest East Side location, conveniently located at 6947 East 22nd, just west of Cole. Open Monday through Friday. JT Auto is a full-service auto shop with satisfaction guarantee, offering you the best in tires and wheels, auto repair, oil changes, computer diagnostics, suspension and brake service, and heating and AC. Bring your car to JT Auto, where their customers are family. 372-7704. That's 372-7704 or jtautoaz.com.
Essential Pest Control leaves bugs belly up with science.
You mean they don't use yesterday's newspaper?
No, they use the latest in technology and innovation to eliminate bugs, bees, termites, weeds, and more.
So no as seen on TV salt guns?
Nope, only solutions that target insect biology, using chemistry to help protect the environment, people, and their pets.
You are so smart.
Essential Pest Control leaves bugs belly up. Call 886-3029 or visit essentialpest.com.
It's your time to shine. This is Desert Diamond Casino, the spot with Arizona's only hometown sportsbook, the hottest slots and tables, and off-the-charts energy you won't find anywhere else. Here, there's always a fun-filled, action-packed, downright unforgettable night right around the corner. So let your hair down, turn the sparkle all the way up. It's time to live the diamond life. Desert Diamond Casino.
An enterprise of the Thana Ogden Nation.
My heat and air were in a state of disrepair.
As the new year begins, Picture Rocks Cooling, Heating, and Plumbing would like to thank you for allowing us to serve Tucson and the surrounding communities for the past 25 years. Whether it is a small water leak or a full air conditioning replacement, we do it all, big or small. For professional service, call Picturox Cooling, Heating, and Plumbing at 520-492-0748 or make your appointment online at picturoxcooling.com.
Picturox Cooling, Heating and Plumbing.
Hi, this is Natalie Fernandez at Meridian Wealth Management. And one of the hardest things I witness is when someone passes and they hadn't updated their beneficiaries properly beforehand. We all experience change in our lives, marriage, divorce, kids, and we work very hard for what we have. Leaving your legacy exactly the way you desire is important. This is your reminder to review all of your beneficiary designations today and at least annually. Seek guidance if you need it. Call our office at 520-719-1433 for more information.
Advisory services provided by Meridian Wealth Management, a registered investment advisor.
Wildcat Nation, are you ready?
Bradley down into the lane, lay it up and good. Previous turnaround jump hook is good. Del Orso springs a three out there and drains it. Milwaukee takes away the rebound and slams it home.
It's a man's game.
Bear down, Cats. Our Window Depot coverage of University of Arizona basketball continues with Meridian Wealth Management Arizona Game Day. The pregame show is brought to you by Meridian Wealth Management. Wealth well managed, life well lived. We are counting down to tip off for Arizona Wildcats basketball. This is Wildcats Radio, 1290.
Drives to the free throw line, pump fake there. He'll shoot over Johnson, rolls off no good. Aristode the rebound and puts it in.
Aristode hung in the air, Brian. He got up high, the ball sat on the rim, but then he hung in the air, grabbed it, and went back up quickly.
Let's take a look at the Right Way Rundown and see what's coming up on our pregame show. Brought to you by Right Way Heating, Cooling, and Plumbing. Doing things the right way.
All right, hour number 2 of our show here. So glad you could be with us. It is Meridian Wealth Management Arizona Game Day, getting you set for the Wildcats and the BYU Cougars. Coming up in hour number 2, we're going to shine a spotlight on one of your Cats. Ryan Hansen, the radio analyst for the Arizona Wildcats on Arizona Sports Enterprises, chatted with Dwayne Aristode. We'll hear a little bit of their conversation. That is brought to you by O'Reilly Chevrolet. Hughes Federal Credit Union has DK with TL. DK kind of, sort of with TL this week. There has not been a press conference in a couple of weeks now, but had I been in a press conference, I might have asked Tommy about his big men shooting threes. So we'll hear what he has to say about that. Goldberg and Osborne, the injury lawyers, have your college basketball scoreboard. We'll update you on everything that's happening around the country. Greg Wrubell calls the games for the BYU Cougars. He'll be your scouting report. He'll tell you all about AJ and Richie and the third, Trey, all those guys, Kebakeda, and the rest in your scouting report, brought to you by Jack Freyer Tire and Auto Care. Pest of the game, who's going to be that Cougar who scratches, maybe, gets underneath the Cat's skin tonight? Essential Pest Control has your pest of the game. Can we beat the book at the Casino del Sol? Arizona, a 1.5-point favorite. They expect scoring tonight. You're over under 162.5 for the game at the Marriott Center in Provo. Keys to the game are brought to you by Royal Automotive and your starting lineup, courtesy of Rock and K. We'll also give you your availability report coming up a little bit later, which is sponsored by no one currently. So if you want to put your name on the availability report, 887-1000. 887-1000 is the number to call, and we can get you, our crack sales staff can get you set up with that sponsorship right there. There is an important name on the other side of the coin that's on that availability report, and we'll tell you exactly who that is. All right, that's what we've got coming up for you in this hour. Let's right now shine a spotlight on one of your Cats.
Our pregame show, Spotlight on a Cat, is brought to you by O'Reilly Chevrolet. Get more with O'Reilly Chevrolet.
Dwayne Aristode has been one of those freshmen, fabulous freshmen. There's going to be a lot of them in the game tonight. He has not played as much as the other three, as Dwayne Aristode, averaging 5 points and 2 rebounds. But when he's in there, he can knock down that three-point shot we were talking about. He is shooting just one miss under 50% this season. He is 24 for 50 from behind the line. 6 points, and had a season-high 3 steals on Saturday against West Virginia. Ryan Hansen is the radio analyst on the Arizona Wildcats broadcast. When mostly the team is at home, Reggie Geary will be in that spot tonight, but Ryan caught up with Dwayne Aristo.
Let's step aside for a few minutes with the conversation with Arizona freshman Dwayne Aristo. Dwayne, good to catch up with you now, pretty deep into the season. Give me a little bit of reflection on the first few months of college basketball from your perspective.
I think it's a journey that goes by very quick, so you gotta cherish every moment of development, enjoyment, the process, and also the team bonding. As well as, what we're trying to accomplish at the end of the day, which is win the championship. So, everything in the one, just got to take it day by day, step by step. It's a journey. So I think that's how I look at it.
All right, I like that. Take me back to Wednesday night against Cincinnati. Pretty hard-nosed, tough defensive team. How difficult was it to crack their defense?
I think as it was, give credit to Cincinnati, they had a disciplined defense of letting us, restricting us to do certain things like going to the middle and really dig up the paint as far as also zone switching and gap defense. But, end of the day, we got better plays. We got a better system. We know what we could do as the game went on. We understood the flow, and ultimately winning the run. I think the third quarter, when we, found out what exactly their flow was on defense. So, yeah, I think that showed in the result, winning by 26 at the end of the day.
That's good. Slightly different role for you maybe in the first time in your career, not starting, not getting in that first rotation. But I know they go to you quickly off the bench, and I know Coach Lloyd wants you ready to go. How do you stay mentally ready in maybe this new role that you're in?
End of the day, you got, I got to be myself, never change no matter what role I have. Obviously, do what the coach says, but also stay aggressive. I think that's been the key factor that I have to stay aggressive and just keep developing and just be me. Don't ever change for nobody. Obviously, like I said, got to play your role, but, just be you. I think that's the most important. Stay confident, stay aggressive.
That's today's Spotlight on a Cat, brought to you by O'Reilly Chevrolet. Get more with O'Reilly Chevrolet.
Throw it out top, knocked away, stolen. Del Orso, other way to the bucket, laid up and good. Delhi steal score, 80-48. Wildcats now just the third team to score 80 against West Virginia this season, just the second in regulation. Here's Jenkins, jumper up, over the rim, no good. Rebound, tapped out to Koa Pete. And Pete will bring it himself. He likes to do that across midcourt now. Leave it for Del Orso, left wing, steps around the screen, shoots the three, scores the three. The fans recognize Delhi's recent struggles, trying to build his confidence here.
Yeah, Anthony Del Orso dropped 12 points. 4 of 8 shooting against West Virginia. This was after he went 0 for 14 over the course of a 3-game stretch. It was great to see Delhi get back into his scoring groove in that 88-53 win on Saturday over the West Virginia Mountaineers. Tommy Lloyd after the ball game on Delhi's strong outing.
I'm assuming so. Delhi's a tough kid. And he's built for this. He's built for this. His journey probably hasn't been easy, and I know it hasn't been without adversity. So this is just another, bump in the road that he's had to deal with, but he's fine. And, I think the thing he's happiest about is our team continues to be successful, while he's been figuring it out. So it's great to see him play like that. And, I would, like I said before, my expectation is we're going to get the best out of Delhi when it's needed. And that's a great attribute to have as a competitor.
Yeah, and Delhi, one of those guys we kind of mentioned on Saturday in the postgame show that was responsible for, getting a hand on some balls in those passing lanes, that was able to turn the West Virginia Mountaineers over and get the Wildcats going in transition. He's really improved in that aspect. But guys, Delhi, first and foremost, I think is a guy that you expect to have an offensive impact on this team. So it's important for him to have that game on Saturday for his confidence.
Yeah, you would like to see him, have confidence going in, but that's the role he has. Come in, take your shots, Sometimes they're going to fall. Sometimes they're going to be off. But continue to play defense, continue to hustle, continue to be a good teammate, continue to have great body language. It's tough coming off the bench. It's not ideal for a guy like him. He comes from where he was a leading scorer, a guy that could take all the shots he wanted at all three levels. So just being a three-point shooter a lot of times, it throws you off a little bit because you live and die by it. But like I said, he's done a great job of getting stronger where he can play better defense and be more valuable to the team overall.
Yeah, I mean, Kelvin said it the other day when he had an open 12-footer from the free throw line with nobody around and he hit off the back rim that he's a little bit in his own head on those kind of moments. But trusting his fundamentals, trusting his process, and obviously he's worked his whole life to be a great shooter. Looking at his stats, guys, I mean, he's shooting a career low this year from the field, only 39%. But what I'm seeing is twice as many assists as he's ever averaged, right? So playing with a lot of great players, Kelvin, it's a completely different role. We remember 20 points a game is what he averaged as a sophomore at Campbell, averaged 15 field goal attempts, completely different role, obviously, last year and this year with the Arizona Wildcats. But there's been moments, Kelvin, where I've been very impressed with Delly's ability to make something happen by getting by the first line of defense and facilitating from the mid-range area, and also with his ability to simply find other players in prime spots, Kelvin, when the ball is moved and there's an open baseline jump shot or something along those lines. He's very good at reading defenses. And although the shot's not falling, I think his offensive contributions just go beyond his field goal percentage. And I think all shooters get into a bit of funks. Hopefully those 0 for 14 moments are gone, DK, but because he's legit a guy that you expect to knock down shots when he gets his feet set.
No question about that. And this is the type of game, I think, where that could be vitally important when you get on the road. You're going to want as many of those guys who can give you offense as possible when you go into a hostile environment like tonight for the Arizona Wildcats. 520-848-1290 is the number to get in on the program. We've got, of course, we've got our guy, J-Dub. We've got K-Dub, who is watching the show again today on YouTube, and he chimes in. I see this game as a learning experience. How are the good teams with equivalent talent or size going to play Zona and try to beat them? Will there then be more adjustments made by Tommy after tonight? Quality teams will attack and try to solve the impossible puzzle. Tonight will be a learning experience, be extremely valuable moving forward in the year. I'll be watching to see how tournament quality teams with talent will attack and try to solve this Wildcats basketball puzzle. This should be a very valuable game. It's absolutely going to be a valuable game for this team moving forward. And we have not seen a team yet that's been able to solve the puzzle. Do you guys have an idea, though, the kind of team that could solve this Wildcat puzzle that he's talking about?
You mean offensively or defensively?
Either way.
Well,
really,
the thing about BYU is you hear a lot about their star freshmen. You hear a lot about Robert Wright. But to me, Kelvin, they're built very similar to this year's Arizona team in that, yes, they have some newcomers who are very talented and might get all the headlines. But it's really guys like Richie Saunders and Keba Keita, who are both seniors, guys. They've both been around college basketball for 4 years. I do not think that this BYU team has the size that Arizona has. They do not. They have some big guys who are freshmen who get spot minutes, but they're not going to be able to match the sheer size of Moteus Krivas and Tobey Walker in particular. How do you solve this problem? Well, they have three dynamic scorers who take 65% of their field goals. AJ, Richie, and Robert Wright III take 700 out of 1,100 field goals have been attempted by those three guys. So it's a much more pro-style Kelvin offense. Obviously, we know that from Coach Young. But those three guys are the problem. We all know how NCAA tournament runs end is when one or two guys get really hot and you have to put so much extra defensive attention to them, then the other guys start seeing open looks at the rim. That's the biggest issue to me tonight is I think BYU can, quote, solve Arizona by putting, again, rim pressure on the Arizona Wildcats because AJ is a really good driver and finisher. Robert Wright can do that as well. Saunders is a do-everything kind of guy. So if those three guys, DK, start going off offensively, it's an issue in that you have to send an extra defender. You have to make sure you cool down AJ, and then you could see other guys get open looks. But we'll see. I mean, we'll see. What do you think, Kelvin, as far as solving the Arizona Wildcats this year?
Yeah, I think that's a tough thing, man. Just because of what I've been saying the whole time, you have so many different guys that could have a big game and that could lead you to victory, and they can play through so many different guys. So that just makes it tough. It makes it tough for them to beat, and they defend. All 8 guys that play are pretty good defenders, great team defenders, and pretty good individual defenders as well, starting with Jalen Bradley at the point guard. I mean, even Berries. I mean, you think about it, there's no weaknesses there as far as, guys that you can attack. So BYU is, again, like you said, those 3 guys are very aggressive scoring, and they throw lobs, and they get open threes to those other guys. But I think at the end of the day, it's them being able to shut down some of our 2-point buckets, them keeping us off the free throw line. To me, that's going to be the best way to beat Arizona. You got to keep us off the free throw line because that makes up for our 3-point shooting.
Yeah, free throw line and try to match them on the boards. Like, those are the 2 biggest issues with this Arizona team offensively is they just pound it inside. We've seen the last 10 minutes of games especially just have their way with most teams because of that physicality. But you have to try to match this Arizona team on the glass, at least keep somewhat even, and then try to defend without fouling, like Kelvin said.
It is Meridian Wealth Management Arizona Game Day. 520-848-1290 is the number for you to get in on the program. We appreciate K-Dub for his thoughts on tonight's game. We want to hear your thoughts on Arizona basketball. When we come back, we'll hear the thoughts of the head coach, DK, sort of, with TL. Meridian Wealth Management Arizona Game Day with Kelvin Ifan, JW Madden. I'm David Kelly. You're listening to Wildcats Radio 1290.
This is Meridian Wealth Management Arizona Game Day. Hour 2 of the pregame show is brought to you by Bear Down Roofing, Dorado Rock, Essential Pest Control, Goodfellas AC, Hughes Federal Credit Union, Johnson Manley Company, JT Auto, Lexus of Tucson, Mr. Rooter, Recon Auto Detail, Right Way Heating, Cooling, and Plumbing, Rocking K, a master plan community designed by nature, Factory Direct Mattress, and by Meridian Wealth Management. Wealth well managed, life well lived.
Wildcat fans, where do you go when the final buzzer sounds? You don't head home. You head to Roadhouse Cinemas and Roadies, Tucson's home court for great food, craft beer, and nonstop fun. At Roadies, you can bowl, throw an axe, play arcade games, or grab a burger while the next game plays on the massive screens. Then, catch the newest movies right next door at Roadhouse Cinemas with luxury recliners and full in-seat dining. Game days, movie nights, anytime. Make it a win at Roadhouse Cinemas and Roadies on the corner of Grant and Swan.
Do you often worry you left your garage door open? With the LiftMaster Garage Door Opener powered by MyQ, you'll never worry again. You can control, secure, and monitor your garage from your smartphone anytime from anywhere through the MyQ app. As an authorized LiftMaster dealer, we have smart openers designed for your needs, including belt drive motors for ultra-quiet operation, integrated camera for live video streaming, and battery backup that lets you in when the power is out. The team at Kaiser Garage Doors and Gates are your locally owned LiftMaster professionals. Visit KaiserGarage.com to learn more.
Experiencing the natural wonders comes easy at Rockin' K. Nestled at the base of the Rincon Mountain foothills, enjoy stunning mountain views up close every day. 6 model homes are now open to tour at Del Webb at Rockin' K. Here, life is about more than just beautiful homes. It's about the experiences waiting outside your front door at this new 55-plus active adult neighborhood. LiveRockingK.com. Designed by nature. Proud U of A radio broadcast sponsor.
Back your hometown favorite. Get your very own exclusive University of Arizona debit card from Hughes Federal Credit Union. Pair your new card with a free checking account that earns dividends with no monthly fees, no minimum balance, and convenient 24/7 online and mobile banking. Visit one of our 7 convenient branch locations to get your card instantly or open an account online at hughesfcu.org/wildcats. Show your Wildcat spirit all year long with Hughes Federal Credit Union. Certain restrictions apply. Insured by NCUA.
Coach Tommy Lloyd here. Right Way has important news.
Thinking about replacing your heating and air system? It's free furnace season at Right Way.
These are some of the slowest months of the year. We have equipment in stock and our crews are available.
And we're including an 80% furnace absolutely free with the purchase of an air conditioning system.
And if that's not enough, we're offering up to 60 months no interest financing, manufacturer and energy efficiency rebates, and 10-year parts and labor warranty.
Call or text 520-200-2422 today or visit rightwayac.com.
If it's worth doing, do it the right way.
Cool Willie's Air and Plumbing. Always trust the big guy. Mention your Wildcats and receive $50 off any repair at coolwillies.com. Cool Willie's is proud to be a partner of the University of Arizona Wildcats radio broadcast. Two powerful teams working hard for you to get the job done right every day. Cool Willie's Air and Plumbing. Big enough to help, small enough to care. Remember to mention your Wildcats and receive $50 off any repair. coolwillies.com.
Essential Pest Control leaves bugs belly up with science.
You mean they don't use yesterday's newspaper?
No, they use the latest in technology and innovation to eliminate bugs, bees, termites, weeds, and more.
So no as seen on TV salt guns?
Nope, only solutions that target insect biology, using chemistry to help protect the environment, people, and their pets.
You are so smart.
Essential Pest Control leaves bugs belly up. Call 886-3029 or visit essentialpest.com.
Broadway in Tucson presents the 20th anniversary season featuring 7 Tucson premieres, including Disney's Beauty and the Beast, Hell's Kitchen, Moulin Rouge, The Wiz, Back to the Future, Dr. Seuss's How the Grinch Stole Christmas, and more. Secure your signature season tickets today and get the best seats at the lowest prices. Visit BroadwayInTucson.com and secure your 2025-2026 season tickets today.
Our Window Depot coverage of U of A basketball continues. This is the Meridian Wealth Management Arizona Gameday pregame show on Wildcats Radio 1290. Now, back to your hosts, David Kelly, the captain Kelvin Yvonne, and J.W. Madden.
Out to Aristode. Plenty of time to Burries. Burries high post. Krivas, he'll shoot the three out there, and it's good.
That was the smoothest looking three we've seen all night from Mo.
Third made three of the season for Mo Krivas.
Mo Krivas, big man. He's shooting 50%. 50% from three this year is Motiejus Krivas. Toby Waka, big man. He's shooting 67% from three this season. Kopi takes a few more. He's not quite shooting quite as well, just 415, 27%. But those big guys, I like that. 7 of 12 between the two of them this year so far from three-point land. And I remarked after the game on Saturday on the postgame show, I thought there were a couple that Motiejus Krivas passed up in the first half that he could have taken for sure. Let's hear from the head coach a little bit on that.
For all the questions you need answered, it's DK with TL. Our David Kelly asks Tommy Lloyd questions, and you get the answers. DK with TL is sponsored by Hughes Federal Credit Union. Hughes Federal Credit Union. We take you further.
All right, DK sort of with TL. I was not in the post-game press conference. I never am. And there haven't been any weekly press conferences this week, and I don't know if they'll be. There may be one this week because we don't play again until Saturday. So we'll probably get Tommy Lloyd at some point Thursday or Friday before the squad heads up to Tempe for a noon affair on Saturday. I believe actually our guy Brian Peterson was the one that lobbed this one to the head coach, and it was about the big fellas taking three-point shots. 12 this season again between Krivas and Awaka, and if Tommy is telling his guys to take those three-point shots.
We showed up at the gym this morning for a little walkthrough, and we saw these 3-point signs. And I think it reminded us that we needed to shoot some threes. I think a better marketing ploy for our team would be if those signs said paint twos and free throws. I mean, that's what I'm looking for next time. But I never say anything to them about that. And, I might, tell them, hey, we probably didn't need that one there or things like that. But, yeah, I mean, listen, we're a good shooting team. I think as you get deeper into the season and you get the rhythm of these games, those are just opportunistic ones. I mean, it's not like we're coming out of a timeout and saying, Mo, when you catch the ball up top, they're not going to guard you, let it rip. I mean, that's Mo's decision because, I want that, again, the player has to own that decision. And if they own that decision and they've been working hard at it, hopefully they can reward themselves rather than having that decision come from me. So, I think you end up later in the season, you're on a good team. I've seen this happen in some of the good teams I've been part of the past. Teams come into these games and really just pick their poison. and so maybe they're just saying, hey, we're gonna not guard their bigs up top, and and they take a chance with that. So I mean, and you need to have the wherewithal to not let that bother you, but it's okay if those guys knock down an occasional top of the key three.
And those are the questions that you needed answered. DK with TL is sponsored by Hughes Federal Credit Union. Hughes Federal Credit Union. We take you further.
So, guys, do you think if you're in the marketing department at the University of Arizona Athletics, and Tommy Lloyd says, I think we should do placards that say paint twos and free throws, are you immediately going out and making sure that we have to get that on something? Like, we've got to get that. Tommy said it. We got to get that on something for the next home game. Paint two. I don't know if I like paint twos and free throws is a little kind of boring, though. I like paint twos and ones. I think that's what Brian said earlier. Paint twos and ones. That sounds that sounds fresher to me than paint twos and free throws.
Yeah, but either one, it makes this point of get to the line. You can't get to that free throw. You can't get to that free throw line if you don't get to the lane. And then again, when you have a big team, and I keep saying this, I keep stressing this, when you have a big team with all them big guys, the Core Pete's, and he's playing small forward for you, one of the biggest small forwards we ever had here at Arizona. But when you got all those guys out there like that, it's you don't want to take a bunch of threes because the rebound's long and it starts fast breaks for the other team, and it gives advantages to smaller teams. You want to pound that thing. You want to get inside of that lane and get shots to give these guys opportunities to get that rebound and go back. That's just the bottom line. That's the success of this team. I don't care how good they get at shooting threes. At the end of the day, they're going to win. Like I always told J-Dub over all these years, they're going to win by being the team to make the most twos.
Yeah, again, you look at this team right now, they have taken, and it's been this way all season, they have made more free throws than their opponents have taken. The Wildcats have made 391 free shots to 343 taken by their opponents, and they have taken almost 200 more free throws than their opponents.
So Arizona is currently second in the nation in points in the paint. The only team that scores more points in the paint is Coach Lloyd's old boss, Mark Few, up in Spokane. The Gonzaga Bulldogs average 48 points in the paint per game. Arizona averages 46 points in the paint per game. So the reason I think that Mo and Tobe need to take those shots is drop coverage. If the defender is 8 feet off of them, what are they trying to do, DK? They're trying to make sure that Arizona doesn't get 50 points in the paint that game. That's literally the style of defense is trying to clog down by the rim so that Arizona doesn't get a lot of dunks and ones. So clearly the style of play is inside out. It's always been inside out. But I love to see those guys take those threes with confidence when you see 8 feet, 10 feet of clearance in front of you, as if this, like, it's almost disrespectful, Kelvin. Like, oh, you're going to give me, 2 arms. You're going to be off me. So I got 3 seconds here to set my shot up and take it. Well, I'm going to do that. But not hunting those shots. So I'm happy for Mo to turn down 3-point looks if there's better shots within the offense, because at the end of the day, it's really just about getting the most efficient offensive possession each time you get down the court. And for Arizona this year, those are usually finishing with paint touches and paint points.
Speaking of those big guys down on the inside, before we get to the big fellas, let's pause 10 seconds for station identification. You're listening to Meridian Wealth Management, Arizona Game Day.
Wildcats Radio 1290 studios are brought to you by ICCU at ICCU.com. KCUB Tucson, a Cumulus media station.
Along with Kelvin Efon and JW Madden, my name is David Kelly. It is Meridian Wealth Management, Arizona Game Day. We are 2 hours away from tip-off in Provo, Utah. Number 1, Arizona. Number 13, BYU. The first major game of this Big 12 conference season for your Arizona Wildcats, and they are going to be coming fast and furious from here on out. You've got BYU tonight, number 13. You'll go on the road to Arizona State. Never easy, no matter how in flux that program is. Oklahoma State, you'll come home. That should be a cakewalk, but then you got to go to Kansas on February 9th. You'll come home for Texas Tech on the 14th. You'll be home for BYU on the 18th, and then you go to Houston on the 21st of February. So it's how many games? That's 2, 4, 6, 7 games. So 5 of the next 7 games are really going to be barn burners.
Those
for
are
Arizona Wildcats.
Still all quad one, except for Colorado has now slipped a little bit in the standings. So from that Kansas game you mentioned, DK, all the way through Iowa State, those are 7 consecutive quad one games.
Yeah, we didn't even get to the last part of that, to which includes games at home against Kansas and Iowa State. But I like it. It is a McHale friendly schedule. There are going to be some doozies, man. Those last 4 home games, you're not going to want to miss those. Texas Tech, BYU, Kansas, and Iowa State. You are not going to want to miss those. And it's crazy. And when I looked at that just now, there's only 5 home games left. It just doesn't seem like we're there yet. But there's only 5 home games left to see your Arizona Wildcats. Let's hear from Andy. You're on Meridian Wealth Management, Arizona Gameday, the pregame show.
Hey, thank you for taking my call. I called in on Friday talking about Sam Darnold being low-hanging fruit for people thinking that he was washed up and not all that, and that's why all these teams let him go. But I think he showed his mettle on Sunday, and I think he's going to show his mettle in about 2 weeks, because I do think the Seattle Seahawks will go on and beat the Patriots. It won't be easy because the Patriots are sneaky good. But I think they're about a year away from being in their dominant, I don't know, whatever you want to call it, a long winning spree of Super Bowls again, because they got a great little quarterback in Drake May. Talking about Arizona basketball, that's the focus. So who is the rivalry in this new conference for the U of A Wildcats? Because ASU, I like to say that they are, but they haven't been competitive, and you got Hurley there, and as long as he's there, I really don't see that as a competition right now. But maybe BYU, Houston with Sampson from the old Pac-12, Pac-10 conference. He was there leading some teams in that conference. Now he's in this conference with us. What do you guys think? Who's our biggest rivalry moving forward in this conference?
Let me tell you a little story from just today, Andy. I was driving my mom up on Ina Road, Sunrise and Ina today, and we passed this big temple up there, and she said, "What church is that?" Because my mom doesn't necessarily get up to the north side that often. She said, "What is that church up there?" And I said, "That's the Mormon temple." And she said to me, "Oh, there's a lot of Mormons here?" And I said, "Well, yes, there are, Mom. There are quite a few here in our southern Arizona community." And I've said from the get-go, to me, when we went into this conference, and I said when the Wildcats were talking about leaving the Pac-12, I said whatever conference they need to go to, they need to go to a conference where BYU is, because I think that's going to be the next big rivalry for this university.
I mean, yeah, I think as far as schools go, it's probably BYU, but BYU hasn't made an Elite Eight since 1981. 81 was the last Elite Eight run that BYU made in basketball. So as far as a, quote, basketball rival, it's obviously the Jayhawks is what all the Wildcats fan want. However, the issue there is they've only played twice in the last 15 years, and that was last season in Lawrence and in the Big 12 tournament. To me, it's got to be Houston, and it's not a matter of like the team that Arizona will, quote, be the biggest rivals with. But, Kelvin, that's the team right now you have to look at as being the team that's won the conference 2 straight years and is dominant. And that style of play is clearly something that Coach Lloyd is trying. So rivalries, Andy, come from many meaningful, important basketball games over the years and stacking them. And in that case, it would be Kansas, because there's been a lot more meaningful basketball played between Kansas and Arizona than any other program in the conference. But again, they've only played twice in the last 15 years. So I would say basketball rivals, you know, everybody wanted to be UCLA's rival in the Pac. You got to look at Kansas as being that team. They're the predominant first college basketball powerhouse in the nation. So that's that school that you want to measure yourself by. But time will tell. I mean, rivalries come from games. They don't come from what the fan bases want to happen. It comes from actual meaningful basketball over the course of a period of time. And right now it's Houston and Kansas.
I think I'm going to go back with the Dome. I like that answer a lot more because it's simplistic. You gave me a real long intellectual, real long one. I can't get my mind around. But the dome, that gold dome, BYU, go, bear down Wildcats. Let's go.
Thanks, Andy. Great stuff there. Great stuff there.
I'm sorry,
from our
I'm
guy,
too smart.
Andy. Yeah,
I apologize.
You, Mr. Intellectual over there. Yeah,
it's obvious. Like rivalries, like we can't decide who the rivalries are going to be. That's not how any of this works. Now, when the student body chants inappropriate things at the BYU BYU bench, that's happened last year. When things like that add up over time, there comes real vitriol and real fan engagement, and the fan bases both get engaged, and that's where true rivalries come from. They're a ways off. I mean, I think Kevin Young has really just started to do his thing up there. Tommy Lloyd's continuing what's been done here before with Coach Miller and Coach Olson and et al. But traditionally, I mean, BYU is great this year, and they may have the number 1 NBA draft pick in the nation. It's the best recruit they've ever had in the history of their program. Are they going to continue that? I don't know. For all I know, Kevin Young is going to take an NBA job in a year or two and go on to bigger, better things because that's what he wants. The BYU Cougars basketball program itself has had moments of good to great seasons, but not continuously like the Houston and Kansas programs Kansas for 100 years and Houston clearly for the last 10 years are the, model programs that you look at. So I would imagine, Kelvin, I don't know, you haven't weighed in on this yet, but to me, it's got to be what Kelvin Sampson's doing over there in Houston, and obviously the benchmark that Kansas has made since they basically founded their program.
Yeah, those are the two for me, Kansas and Houston. Like you said, we haven't played Kansas that much. That was my last game in the Sweet 16 versus Kansas back in the day with Paul Pierce and them out there. So yeah, I got a little bitter taste in my mouth for them. But to me, it's Houston. I think Houston is at the top of the conference every year, ever since Sampson has been there. They the tough guys, they the bullies. So to me, they are the guys that are setting how people are trying to build their team tougher so they can match up and beat them.
All right, it's an interesting debate. We'll continue this on the other side and as we go along here tonight. Meridian Wealth Management, Arizona Game Day, 520-848-1290, your chance to get in on the show. When we come back, we'll get our scouting report on those BYU Cougars. 42nd all-time meeting between these two teams, and the series is 21-20 in favor of Arizona. Another reason maybe that should be the number one rivalry. It's an even affair with these two teams through 41 games. DK's here. That's me. We got JW here as well. We've got Kelvin Efon. You're listening to Wildcats Radio 1290.
Hi, guys. I'm back. What's new?
Tucson Appliance Scratch and Dent Studio.
All the Scratch and Dent merchandise has its own new studio.
There were so many Scratch and Dent discounted items. Now they have a place of their own.
I love it. A whole Scratch and Dent studio right next to Tucson Appliance. They don't look like Scratch and Dent,
but it shows in the low prices.
Tucson Appliance Scratch and Dent Studio. Proud local supporters of the Southern Arizona Heartball. Only at Tucson Appliance, where you are a priority.
Advantage Air Mechanical, the team you can trust. Call 792-9400.
When it comes to the comfort and indoor air quality of your home and office, Advantage Air Mechanical has you covered. Breathing healthy air and having reliable air conditioning is important. If you or someone you know is in need of air conditioning services or a new system installation, we are here to help. Advantage Air Mechanical, 792-9400. AZROC 214570.
Hey, Eugene, what's with the giant pile of scratcher tickets?
With these scratchers, I'll win enough dough to enroll in the UberTube car repair classes and finally know how to fix your car right.
Well, then keep on scratching, Eugene.
Good luck on that, guys. But if you need a sure thing, check out Jack Furrier Tire and Auto Care. No appointment necessary, call ahead's welcome, or just stop by any of the 14 area locations.
And check out our full page of promotions and discounts at jackfurriers.com.
Jack Furrier Tire and Auto Care since 1960, here to get you there.
Think of waking up with energy, standing tall and feeling free. Think first chiropractic, good health is to enjoy.
First Chiropractic is pleased to announce that Access Health Plans now cover chiropractic care. A referral by your PCP is required. For more information, go to firstchiro.com, the most trusted name in chiropractic care. A proud U of A radio sponsor.
First Chiropractic, good health is to enjoy.
Broadway in Tucson presents the 20th anniversary season featuring 7 Tucson premieres, including Disney's Beauty and the Beast, Hell's Kitchen, Moulin Rouge, The Wiz, Back to the Future, Dr. Seuss's How the Grinch Stole Christmas, and more. Secure your signature season tickets today and get the best seats at the lowest prices. Visit BroadwayInTucson.com and secure your 2025-2026 season tickets today.
Why do I spend so much time educating our youth about financial wellness? I have seen the fire ignite inside of young adults when I show them how the power of compound investing can change their futures. This is Natalie Fernandez at Meridian Wealth Management, and I am committed to affecting change with our youth. An idea for all of you listening today, gift a Roth IRA contribution for the holidays or birthdays for your kids and grandkids. Contact our office at 520-719-1433 for guidance and details. The change begins with us.
Advisory services provided by Meridian Wealth Management, a registered investment advisor.
Hey, man. It's me, your furnace, man. Hey, can I get a light here, man? I know we live in Arizona, so I understand I'm not, like as cool as your air conditioner. But I still need a tune-up at least once a year, man. So get the best in town, man. Goodfellas AC, bro. Hey, anybody smell that, man? I swear it wasn't me. Okay, it was me.
Good service, good prices, Goodfellas. GoodfellasAC.com.
Get your backyard summer ready with a custom pool from First Choice Pools. A backyard oasis built around you. First Choice is a full-service builder of beautiful in-ground pools and backyard designs for years of staycations. If you want to dive in this summer, now is the time to visit TucsonPoolBuilder.com. First Choice Pools for installs, renovation, remodeling, and repair. Get started today at TucsonPoolBuilder.com. Ask about our 60-day pool. To be summer ready, First Choice is the only choice.
Our Window Depot coverage of U of A basketball continues. This is the Meridian Wealth Management Arizona Gameday pregame show on Wildcats Radio 1290. Now, back to your hosts, David Kelly, the captain Kelvin Yvonne, and J.W. Madden.
Rob Wright, the third, open three. Pull, fire, score! Rob Wright, the third! Beto at the left elbow. Rips on Hayes, gives to Richie for three. Oh, that's big. That's big for Richie. That's big for BYU. Up top to AJ. He crosses over on Dawes, takes him low, spins on him, steps through, banks and scores. AJ Dybantsa.
Time now for a look at today's Wildcat opponent. The Scouting Report is brought to you by Jack Furrier Tire and Auto Care. Jack Furrier, since 1960. Here to get you there.
Let's take a closer look at tonight's opponent, the 13th ranked BYU Cougars. Pleased to be joined by the radio play-by-play voice of the Cougars, Greg Wrubell. And Mr. Wrubell, I understand that the Cougars obviously coming off a loss a couple of nights ago, but an amazing season to date with Richie Saunders, the senior leader, Robert Wright transfer coming in from Baylor. But first, I wanted to ask you about the second-year head coach, Kevin Young. We know that he really likes that NBA style of rim or threes, a little bit of pressure defense. In his second season there in Provo, have you seen any major changes to Coach Young's style, or is it pretty much the same as we saw last year?
It's a very similar style, but it's a real change in the composition of the roster. Last year's team was built with essentially two starting fives. They had first five and then a second group of five that could come off the bench and play very well. This year's team is much more starter-centric, and a lot of that deals with the fact that you've got one of the top players in the country in A.J. Dybantsa kind of running things for BYU. But they're not as deep, but the starter talent, I think, is better than last year, and that's why you've seen BYU pick up, more wins, look like a better team, generally have a better projection for the NCAA tournament. It's just because the guys who do play those starting minutes, I think, are better overall. So they're not as deep. They'd like a little more from the bench, but that's been the biggest change, I think, from last year to this year. But the style of play is very similar for Kevin Young. He has guys that are able to execute that plan. It's interesting that three of their projected rotation players aren't playing this year. They're all out due to injury, and that's really changed the way this roster looks as well. in losing Dawson Baker and Nate Pickens and Brody Kozlowski. Those are three good shooters and guards you would have liked to have on the floor, and they don't have them. And so it puts even more focus on that starting five and staying out of foul trouble and staying healthy. And so far, so good for BYU. They did have the one loss at Texas Tech a week ago Saturday, but this past Saturday, a couple days ago, got the nice win over Utah. So coming off some momentum, they got the regular season sweep over the Utes, and so a lot of good vibes coming into the game with Arizona tonight.
It is the Arizona Wildcats, BYU Cougars tonight at 7:30. Before we get into the superstar freshman AJ Dybantsa, I wanted to ask you about Richie Saunders, the senior, obviously upping his scoring this year despite the fact that there's so much more star power there on the roster. From your perspective, what has Richie Saunders improved most from his freshman season to now being the senior leader?
Well, he went from being a glue guy to a go-to guy, and because his shooting numbers, got better year by year. He's a 50% shooter from the field, just around 40 from the three-point line. He's in the 80s at the free throw line. He's good for 5 rebounds and a couple of assists per game. He's a 19-point per game scorer. Last year, that would have had to lead BYU. This year, that's second to A.J. Dybantsa, and Robert Wright III is right there with Richie at 18 points a game. So much more of a supporting cast in terms of every night scoring, but Richie's simply gotten better and better year by year. The thing he's the best at now is his quick decision ability. If you close him out, he can drive past you. If you choose to lay off him, he can hit a three over you. He really does have a full arsenal, and is one of the main reasons BYU has won 17 times in 19 games. He's scored 20 or more 24 times in his BYU career, and BYU's 21-3 in those games. So if Richie's having a really good game, there's probably a good chance BYU's going to win that game.
And to the freshmen, nobody's getting snuck up by AJ Dybantsa. We all heard the stories about him as a sophomore and freshman, sophomore, junior in high school. Everybody's seen the tape. Number one consensus recruit in the nation up until last season. We know that he's a great shot maker. We know about the athleticism and the size and the physicality. From your chair, what has been the single most impressive thing you've seen this year from the freshman AJ Dybantsa?
Well, just how, I'm not going to say easy it looks for him, but I'm going to say how comfortable he is in every big-time environment. Because he has been playing at a high level since, 12, 13, 14 years of age, nothing really, catches him off guard at this point. And so as impressive as the resume was, as impressive as the pedigree was, number one recruit for a reason, you still want to see how it all translates at the Division I level. And at 24 points a game, 7 rebounds a game, just under 4 assists per game. He's a 55% shooter from the field. He was 4 or 5 from deep in the Utah game as part of his 43-point explosion. So that just shows how ready he is to compete at this level. But maybe the most impressive thing about him is how good a teammate he is and how willing he is to share the ball, get others involved, and not just be a ball-dominant player. Although he tends to dominate play when he's on the floor, he's not just looking for his own. He's a really good teammate and has meshed well with a guy like Richie Saunders, who's one of those dying breed guys, a 4-year guy at the same school. And Richie, to his credit, has also been somewhat deferential in realizing that AJ is a generational talent, and Richie has to learn to play with that as well. So he's been everything BYU could have hoped for and more, and that 43-point game was pretty special on Saturday.
We're chatting with Greg Wrubell. He's a longtime play-by-play radio voice of the BYU Cougars. It is your scouting report, brought to you by Jack Furrier Tire and Auto Care. Jack Furrier, since 1960, here to get you there. Now, the other member of that big three, 65% of the field goal attempts coming from Richie Saunders, AJ Dybantsa, and also Robert Wright III, transfer from Baylor. Looks like he's upped his efficiency numbers, field goal percentage, 3-point field goal percentage. I know a lot of that has to do with the talent around him. He always struck me as such a very steady floor leader when he was in his freshman season at Baylor. What has Robert Wright III brought to the BYU Cougars roster that they maybe didn't have last season?
Well, he brought enough that allowed them to let a really good point guard in Dallin Hall go explore the portal and leave for Virginia. Robert Wright III is a different kind of point guard for BYU. He's a downhill guy with a good deep shot, a great feel for the game, excellent handles. He's been outstanding for BYU. Maybe he doesn't get enough credit for what's been going on in Provo this year. He scores, 20 or more with regularity. He's hit the 20-point plateau in 4 of his last 5 games. multiple threes in 5 of his last 7 games. He has a 3-point streak of 17 games going right now. He's truly outstanding. A 50% field goal shooter, nearly at 48%, mid-40s from 3, in the 80s from the stripe, 5 assists plus per game. He showed a lot at Baylor and has picked it up from that freshman season. He's been, again, everything you could want to go with the duo of Saunders and Dybantsa. He truly does create one of the best big threes in the country.
Now, you mentioned the Texas Tech loss, and I just wanted to touch on that really quick. I know 13 consecutive losses, going to play at the Red Raiders. Looking at the general numbers from that game, the Cougars didn't shoot great, but what stands out to me is the assist to turnover being upside down. Only 5 assists to 12 turnovers in that game. Do you give that credit to the Texas Tech Red Raiders defense, or were the Cougars maybe just not playing themselves that game? What kind of went wrong on the offensive side there for BYU versus Texas Tech?
Well, BYU did take a 13-game win streak into Lubbock, and the only 2 games BYU's lost this season, UConn and Texas Tech, were the upside-down games. They had 7 assists, 14 turnovers against UConn, and 5 assists and 12 turnovers against Texas Tech, and that 5-assist number very low, a season low for BYU. That's simply not a number BYU puts up against anybody, and they did that day against Lubbock, or against Texas Tech in Lubbock. BYU for 31 minutes was a really good basketball team that day. They had a 9-point lead with 9 minutes to go. So really the only failings for BYU were kind of exposed down the stretch. And in that stretch, there were a couple of weird things that happened. JT Toppin banked in a 3, and BYU fouled a 3-point shooter on 2 occasions in the closing stretch. And that accounted for 6 free throws, I think, on the 2 hits. And so those were some weird things that happened down the stretch, but Texas Tech turned it on. They were at about 150-point pace in those final 10 minutes of the game as USA got rocking. That's a great home court. And BYU just got kind of snowballed. But, a 9-point lead under 10 to go, you played some pretty good basketball. So things did fall apart a little bit late. But on the whole, I think there was more to take from positive than negative on that day.
Now, the other guy among the roster that you mentioned that isn't among those big 3 that I wanted to ask you about is Keita, who obviously spent 2 years at Utah, in his senior season at BYU. Just a really steady physical force. What has he improved in his second year there in Provo that you maybe didn't see last year? And what's he bringing to this roster that they really need him to?
Well, he's bringing 7 points and 8 rebounds a game and about 2 block shots per game. He's a great rim finisher and a tremendous rim presence defensively, shooting 69% from the field, and that's a high number because most of his looks are right around the rim. He's a great dunker, a great guy to have in your lob game. He's just kind of, again, steadily picked up season by season, more of a presence on both ends of the floor. And with blocks now in 7 consecutive games, he's really establishing himself as one of the Big 12's, great rim protectors. And now he gets some help, too. Abdullah Ahmed, they call him Beto. He comes out of the G League, played for the Westchester Knicks for the last couple of seasons, and he's providing a couple of block shots per game in about 17 minutes per game. And so every game he's played for BYU, he's had at least 1 block shot. So between Keita and Beto, the Cougs have a couple of nice guys to protect the tin that maybe they had just one of last year.
We're chatting with Greg Wrubell. It is your Scouting Report brought to you by Jack Furrier Tire and Auto Care. Jack Furrier, since 1960, here to get you there. We mentioned the big 3. We mentioned Keita. Who else on this roster, Mr. Wrubell, should some Arizona Wildcat fans know about contributing to this? I obviously mentioned earlier the number of shot attempts from Robert Wright, Richie Saunders, and AJ Dybantsa is way high. Dybantsa is up to around 65%. So obviously those guys are taking most of the shots. Who are some of those other guys that we might not be aware of that some fans should know about?
Well, the losses of Dawson Baker and Nate Pickens and Brody Kozlowski I mentioned earlier, that takes away 2 good guards and a big, all who can shoot. And so what BYU is looking for is that next guy. And Kennard Davis Jr. is the 5th starter. We talk about the big 3 and then Cable. Well, that leaves one more starter. That's Kennard Davis Jr., but he's in a dreadful slump right now and got banged up on Saturday. Was questionable on the day before the game availability report. So his status for tonight, a little bit up in the air. If Kennard Davis Jr. can't go, there's not a lot in the way of shooting off the bench for BYU, but there are bigs in Ahmed I talked about, and then Mihailo Boskovic and Hadim Boop are both good big bodies, not true shooters, but Boskovic is good for about a three-pointer per game at a really important time of the game. So what they lack right now is probably depth in shooting, but if Davis isn't able to go tonight, I think that next starter is going to be a combination, one of either Boskovic or Boop, who are both longer guys, 6'9", 6'10", Hadim more of an around-the-rim guy, and Mihailo more of a stretch 3, stretch 4 for BYU. That's what they're looking to tonight if they can't get Kennard Davis going tonight.
You mentioned the injuries, and I just wanted to get your thoughts real quick on the Big 12 Conference as a whole. I know coming from the West Coast Conference 2 years ago, this being the third year in the conference for BYU, it's been a bit of an adjustment, I know, for the Arizona Wildcats and fans, obviously the physicality of the conference, but just your take in general of the quality of teams at the top and the general overall physicality and all the great road environments you've seen so far.
Yeah, it's a really top-heavy Big 12 this year. Of 16 teams, I think 6 are all but locks already for the NCAA tournament. There's probably going to be a 7th emerge, but that top 6 is a really, really strong tier. And for BYU to do what it's done in the first 2 years in the Big 12, I think is pretty impressive. They didn't have a great last year in the WCC. They were picked second to last in the Big 12 in their first year, finished much higher than that, superseded expectations last year, and the record this year speaks for itself at 5-1. So the Cougs have made themselves right at home in a very, very strong Big 12. In the WCC, you were fighting 2 teams every year, right? It was Gonzaga, St. Mary's, try and find a way to be in the top 3. Be nice to finish second. You almost never finish first in that league, and BYU never did finish first in the West Coast Conference. But many more teams to worry about in the Big 12. But that's helped BYU up its game as well. As for the physicality, I love the physical tone of the league. I think the officials the league gets are, for the most part, exceptional. They generally call it the right way in the Big 12. A nice mixture of letting guys bang, but also not letting games get out of control. So I think the Big 12 is a great fit for BYU. Love the inclusion in the league. No qualms at all about the physicality. BYU is able to compete, able to bang, and just couldn't be happier.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more. I mean, after many decades in the pack, one of the biggest issues, I think, was the inconsistency of letting players play and seeing the refs give the Big 12 players the ability to bang on each other, without it getting too far out of control. It's just been such a great breath of fresh air in this new conference.
Yeah, I agree.
Well, Greg Wrubell, really appreciate you taking some time out of your day to join us and all your thoughts on the BYU Cougars.
BW, a pleasure, and anytime I'll be happy to join you.
Greg Wrubell, he's the play-by-play voice for the BYU Cougars on the radio side of things. That's your scouting report, brought to you by Jack Furrier Tire and Auto Care. Jack Furrier, since 1960, here to get you there.
And that's the lowdown on the team U of A is about to face on the hardwood. The scouting report has been brought to you by Jack Furrier Tire and Auto Care. Jack Furrier since 1960, here to get you there. This is Meridian Wealth Management Arizona Game Day. Hour 2 of the pregame show is brought to you by Bear Down Roofing, Dorado Rock, Essential Pest Control, Goodfellas AC, Hughes Federal Credit Union, Johnson Manley Company, JT Auto, Lexus of Tucson, Mr. Rooter, Recon Auto Detail, Rightway Heating, Cooling, and Plumbing, Rocking K, a master planned community designed by nature, Factory Direct Mattress, and by Meridian Wealth Management. Wealth well managed, life well lived.
Cool Willie's Air and Plumbing. Always trust the big guy. Mention your Wildcats and receive $50 off any repair at coolwillies.com. Cool Willie's is proud to be a partner of the University of Arizona Wildcats basketball radio broadcast. 2 powerful teams working hard for you to get the job done right every day. Cool Willie's Air and Plumbing. Big enough to help, small enough to care. Remember to mention your Wildcats and receive $50 off any repair. coolwillies.com.
At Goldberg and Osborne, we know Arizona. It's where we live. It's where we work. It's where we've fought and won cases for the injured since 1989. Throughout our history, we've approached every case with a single focus: you. And we've got thousands of 5-star reviews to prove it. Put us to work for you by calling 1-800-THE-EAGLE today.
The garage is more than a place to park your car. It holds prized possessions, and for most, it's a bustling entryway to the home. That's why LiftMaster designed the first ever opener with a built-in wide-angle camera and two-way audio, so you can see what matters and secure what's inside. Ensure your family and prized possessions are secure with a reliable garage door opener that's built to last and powered by MyQ for smartphone control. The team at Kaiser Garage Doors and Gates are your locally owned LiftMaster professionals. Visit kaisergarage.com to learn more.
Hey, Eugene, what's with the giant pile of scratcher tickets?
With these scratchers, I'll win enough dough to enroll in the UberTube car repair classes and finally know how to fix your car right.
Well, then keep on scratching, Eugene.
Good luck on that, guys. But if you need a sure thing, check out Jack Furrier Tire and Auto Care. No appointment necessary. Call ahead's welcome or just stop by any of the 14 area locations.
And check out our full page of promotions and discounts at jackfurriers.com.
Jack Furrier Tire and Auto Care since 1960, here to get you there.
We are the rush, the pulse, the thrill you didn't see coming. Welcome to Club Soul at Casino del Sol, where Tucson's best just got better. Join Club Soul today and get $20 free play. That's right, your first play is on us. Play, earn, and unlock exclusive rewards that take your experience to the next level. More thrills, more perks, more of what makes Casino del Sol unforgettable. We are Club Soul, only at Casino del Sol and Casino of the Sun. Enterprise of the Bosco Yaqui Tribe.
Essential Pest Control leaves bugs belly up with science.
You mean they don't use yesterday's newspaper?
No, they use the latest in technology and innovation to eliminate bugs, bees, termites, weeds, and more.
So no as seen on TV salt guns?
Nope, only solutions that target insect biology, using chemistry to help protect the environment, people, and their pets.
You are so smart.
Essential Pest Control leaves bugs belly up. Call 886-3029 or visit essentialpest.com.
Now that's what I call savings. Truck buyers, this one's for you. Get up to $7,500 off a new 2026 Chevy Silverado and up to $4,500 off a 2025 Chevy Colorado. Two tough trucks, one place to save. O'Reilly Chevrolet. Call us at 747-8000, see us on Broadway next to Park Place Mall, or on the web at O'Reilly.com. O'Reilly Chevrolet. Together, let's drive.
O'Reilly Chevrolet.
Ready to update your kitchen, create a spa-inspired bathroom, or a backyard oasis? Put the equity in your home to work for you with a home equity line of credit from Hughes. Borrow between $10,000 and $250,000 and enjoy flexible terms and no prepayment penalties. With Hughes Federal Credit Union's one-rate guarantee, there's no switching rates based on your credit score. All our members get our same low rate. Learn more at hughesfcu.org/HELOC. Insured by NCUA. Equal housing lender. Certain restrictions apply.
Wildcat Nation, are you ready?
Bradley down, into the lane, lay it up and good. Previous turnaround jump hook is good. Del Orso springs a three out there and drains it. Milwaukee takes away the rebound and slams it home. It's a man's game.
Bear down, Cats. Our window depot coverage of University of Arizona basketball continues with Meridian Wealth Management Arizona Gameday. The pregame show is brought to you by Meridian Wealth Management. Wealth well managed, life well lived. We are counting down to tip off for Arizona Wildcats basketball. This is Wildcats Radio, 1290.
Cats will push it the other way. Braden on the run. Quickly down into the lane. Burries to the bucket. Laid up and good.
Transition. Just Burries never impeded all the way down the floor after he collected the defensive rebound all the way for a layup.
Let's take a look at the Right Way Rundown and see what's coming up on our pregame show. Brought to you by Right Way Heating, Cooling, and Plumbing. Doing things the right way.
Braden Burries leads the Wildcats this season with 6 20-point games. That's after he scored 22 in the game against West Virginia on Saturday. He also had 7 assists to 0 turnovers. How about that in the game on Saturday? And shooting 59% on his 2-point field goals this season is Braden Burries, the freshman out of San Bernardino. Final hour of our pregame shows. We take you up to 6:30. Network after that, Brian Jeffries, Reggie Geary from the Marriott Center in Provo, Utah, for tonight's Big Monday. Remember Big Monday back in the day? Big East, Big 12, Big West. Is the Big West, is there such thing anymore? Does that conference even exist anymore? But that was like
I don't know like if our conference even exists anymore.
Right. That was must-see TV back in the day. Big Monday. You watched all the games from coast to coast. The East Coast, the middle of the country, and the West Coast. Big Monday tonight, though, in Provo, Arizona, and number 13, BYU.
The Big West includes Binghamton, apparently, which is not West, if you know where that is.
Yeah, it's true. That is true.
And Vermont and Maine.
Yeah. Well, we'll get our pest of the game coming up here in this segment. Who will be that cougar that gets underneath the Wildcat skin tonight? That's brought to you by Essential Pest Control. We still got our scoreboard. We got to get that in, too. We'll recap everything happening around college basketball. Well, can we beat the book? Arizona, a 1.5-point favorite tonight on the road at BYU. They won there last year. You'll remember they won the game in Provo, lost the game to the Cougars here in Tucson. 162.5 is your over-under. Keys to the game, Royal Automotive sponsors that. Rocky and Kay will bring you your starting lineup. All of that still to come in the final hour of tonight's game.
I had the wrong page. My bad. It's
Okay.
Hawaii, UC Davis, USB, San Diego, and Irvine, apparently, are the current
Big West.
members. Yeah.
Okay, there we go. So your availability report, which is, well, let's wait because I think there's another one. Well, we're inside 90 minutes, so we should be getting the most up, and we just did. Okay, so we're good. We'll do this. Weekend just came over, just hot off the presses. Your availability report, sponsored by nobody. So the big name, there's nobody on the Arizona side for this game. As you can imagine, Arizona has stayed pretty healthy for the most part all year long. But there is one name of interest on the BYU side of this. Starting guard and transfer, Kennard Davis, has been listed. He was questionable last night. Now he is being listed as a game time decision tonight for the BYU Cougars. So we'll have to keep an eye on if Kennard Davis goes out there and gives it a whirl tonight. This season so far, Kennard Davis averaging 29 minutes, 7 points per ball game to go along with 3 rebounds. He's a guard. Shoots just 28% from three-point land on the season. So we'll see. But he started 16 of their 19 games this season. So we'll see if Kennard can go tonight. No idea exactly. His injury is undisclosed, so we don't really know what that is. But Kennard Davis is the big name on the availability report on the other side tonight. Sponsored by nobody. So get on that if you want to sponsor the availability report. If you own a medical company, that would be good for you. 520-848-1290 is the number to get in on the program. All right, who are some of the guys that might be the pest today? Well, the name that jumps to the forefront is the fab freshman, A.J. Dybantsa, who we mentioned scored just 13 points in a loss to Texas Tech and turned that around the other night, Saturday, and scored 43 against Utah. Kevin Young on his freshman's bounce-back game.
I think it just speaks to his mentality, to be honest with you. And that's something that I'd like to see him tap into more. And I don't mean like, oh, dude, go have 43 every night. I'm not saying that. But, you know, there's just a humble, I don't even know, it's like a humble arrogance, if you will, of just understanding that every time you step on the floor, you're an elite basketball player. And, you know, I think because he plays the game the right way, maybe sometimes that mentality that I'm talking about sometimes isn't as present as maybe it should be or as I would like it to be. And that's a challenge for him as he continues to learn who he is as a player. And, you know, it's fun when he taps into it like he did tonight.
All right, so A.J. Dybantsa obviously could be one of those guys that gets underneath the Wildcats' skin. We mentioned Arizona had just 5 turnovers in their win over West Virginia on Saturday. Well, the BYU Cougars had only 8 turnovers in their game. Kevin Young tells you one of the reasons why.
Rob Wright, I thought his floor game was amazing. I thought he played the game like a true point guard, scored when he needed to, and then realized AJ was going. Thought he did a good job of orchestrating. So that plays into that low turnover number.
You know, Rob Wright, guys, I asked this question to Brian Peterson earlier. Is he the top portal signing in this conference this offseason to get a guy like that out of Baylor to run your point? I can't imagine. I'm going through my list. I mean, we've seen some guys that have, especially in conference, a guy that jumps from one conference school to the other, which I hate. I've said before, that's the one thing I would change about the transfer portals. You can't transfer within conference. You have to go outside or go to another conference in order to switch schools. But I'm not coming up with another name that stands out as a top or better transfer portal pickup than him. Calvin?
Yeah, to me he is, man. I mean, you think about it, he comes from Baylor, so he knows this conference well, and he has success in this conference. That's the reason why he was able to get to a BYU. They took care of him very well with the collective. Trust me, that's the reason why he's there. But with that being said, yeah, he's a real tough player, and he's on the top of my list as best of the game.
All right, well, there you go. We didn't even get to that yet. And Calvin's already let you know who his best of the game is. Robert Wright. Let's hear Richie Saunders, what he sees in his teammate, Robert Wright.
There's nobody here just can understand what it's like having Rob come down at you downhill to the basket. It's seriously one of the most impressive things I've seen, and it's fun to play with. I think it's been cool to see how he's really bought into the way we play, and he gets past his first defender easy. And so it's just seeing him make those reads. And we always talk about playing off of 2 feet, and he's become a 2 feet genius. And yeah, it's fun having a point guard like that.
A 2 feet genius. Haven't heard that phrase.
Well, he's 6'1", so he can't glide in there and finish over the top of guys, right? So he was always strong, Kelvin. I mean, coming into Baylor, the thing that was really impressive with him was how tight his handles are and just how poised he was last year as a freshman on a not very good Baylor Bears team. So there's no doubt. I mean, the amount of talent he's got around him with AJ and Richie Saunders in particular, he's just fitting in, Kelvin, to that spot that they really needed. I know that Mr. Rubel said that I can't think of the name of the point guard, but I remember last year he did things versus Arizona. But clearly having, Robert Wright the third come in, that is, I don't know about the number one point guard in the transfer portal last year, but definitely a top 3, top 5 guy at that position. And I can't think of anybody who's as impactful as a transfer portal guy this year, DK, to go into one of the 5-6 contenders in the conference and turn them from maybe the 5th or 6th best team in the conference to one of the 1 or 2 best teams in the conference. He's just a difference maker and takes a lot of pressure off those other 2 scorers.
Igor Demin, you were talking about from last year?
No, Demin went to the NBA. No. It was another guy that they had another point guard on their roster. I think it was a sophomore last year. And he ended up transferring because Robert Wright III came in, and we're going to take a bunch of those minutes away.
All right, let's flip that now. Let's hear Mr. Robert Wright talk about his guy, Richie Saunders.
I honestly don't think he has too many flaws. He's probably one of the hardest players I've ever played with. He plays the hardest. We run in after practice, and he's first every time. I mean, I remember one practice I got a steal, and I kind of grabbed somebody's arm and a little trick I do, and he was going crazy about it, just trying to learn how to do it. So that just tells a lot about him. I mean, he's just trying to learn and be the best player he could be.
There you go, Richie Saunders. Could it be Richie Saunders that might be that guy?
Dallin Hall is the guy I was thinking of.
Dallin Hall.
Yeah, he transferred to Virginia, so he was the guy who was up and coming. Probably was going to take over a lot of those minutes that Demin left, because Demin was the freshman 6'10" point guard that went to the NBA last year. But yeah, Dallin Hall was off the bench last year, had a big game. I remember McHale was really nice young player, but he's out of there because Robert Wright III transferred in.
All right, let's find out who it is that's going to get underneath the Wildcats' skin tonight.
Who is the pest that the Wildcats need to be free from to win today's game? The Pest of the Game is brought to you by Essential Pest Control. Pest control with science. In Tucson at essentialpest.com.
Well, Kelvin already gave us his guy, right? Robert Wright III. Do you have anything else you want to add to that, Kelvin?
Yeah, I just think that he's a tough player, like everybody's talking about. He gets downhill. He can shoot the 3, but he understands by getting downhill, he makes everybody else on his team better. Saunders can be catch and shoot. Keita can catch the lob at the rim or catch the dump off that he do when he's playing out 2 feet. What they're saying by playing out 2 feet is he's coming in and he's jump stopping, and from there he's forcing the defense to come to him. He's strong enough to go ahead and finish at over 195 pounds, so he's strong enough to go and finish, or kick it out is what he's looking to do. He averages over 5 assists a game, and to me, he's the key guy that we have to stop today, because AJ is going to get his, but if you let Robert Wright score and assist, it's just going to be big trouble.
JW Madden.
Yeah, I think Wright's a great choice. AJ's a great choice. But for me, today is going to be the senior Richie Saunders. And that's because I think a lot of the press clippings are going to be for AJ Dybantsa. I think Robert Wright's a little bit flashier. But Richie Saunders is just one of those guys that if you forget how good of a scorer and shooter he is, and obviously the game plan, guys, is not going to be to forget about Richie Saunders. But on the court, Kevin Young's going to try to confuse the Arizona defense. That's what he tries to do. And so I think if Richie Saunders has a great, efficient scoring game tonight, that makes it so much easier for those other guys to get busy because he's a rhythm guy. And if he gets in rhythm and starts knocking shots down, he's had at least 20 points in 6 of his last 10 games. Really, really fundamentally good scorer. A nightmare matchup because he moves around all the time. So whoever's sticking on him, just make sure that you stay with him the whole time because he'll find an opening, knock some shots down. Richie Saunders is my guy tonight.
All right, Richie Saunders. I'm going to go with, this was tough. This is a tough one for me. I'm not going to go with AJ Dybantsa because obviously he's the go-to guy and going to get his points.
What's the opposite of a pest? Monster? Yeah, he's a monster.
I'm going to go with Keba Keita, I think, just because I went with a big man on Saturday inside. I think I'm going to do that again today because I think ultimately that Keba Keita to me could be the big. He's not obviously as tall as Matias Krivas, but he's a tough son of a you know what I'm talking about there.
Yes,
he's tough, and I don't know if Mo's faced a tough big man like this who could really make his life miserable at both ends of the floor, especially at the defensive end of the floor. So I'm going to go with Keba Keita, the transfer from Utah now in his second season with BYU, is that guy that could potentially get Matias Krivas out of the game, possibly cause some problems with Toby Awaka, and really make a mess of Arizona's front court.
Yeah, Keba was my second choice, honestly. It was either he or Saunders. Keba Keita, to me, is that guy who you really have to worry about making those backside plays when the guards and the wing players get busy, DK. I mean, Keba Keita is one of the best lob targets in the game, very active. You got to make sure that you keep body him on the glass as well. He's a very good choice for pass.
All right, those are the guys we think will get underneath the Wildcats' skin tonight in Provo.
That's our best of the game. Brought to you by Essential Pest Control. Pest control with science. In Tucson at essentialpest.com. This is Meridian Wealth Management Arizona Game Day. Hour 3 of the pregame show is brought to you by ABC Heating and Cooling, Arizona Commercial Lighting, Blue Sky Pest Control, Broadway and Tucson's 20th anniversary season, Cool Willie's Air and Plumbing, First Choice Pools, Goldberg and Osborne, The Injury Lawyers, Gospel Rescue Mission, Kaiser Garage Doors and Gates, O'Reilly Chevrolet, Shamrock Heating and Cooling, Showtime Sports Cards, Tucson Appliance Company, and by Meridian Wealth Management. Wealth well managed, life well lived.
Every day is a balancing act, with work, family, goals, all asking for more. It helps to have tools that meet you at every step and a team that will always be by your side. We're ICCU. We're a credit union that has been helping members achieve financial success since 1940. In fact, we put member success first, one by one, year after year, for 85 years and counting. Now, we're here for you, Tucson. Join us, ICCU.
The holidays are over, and right now is the best time to start your home renovation project. At the Window Depot, you get factory direct prices, no installers, no middleman, and serious savings. Windows, doors, cabinets, countertops, all in stock and ready to take home today. Perfect for DIYers and contractors who want to save thousands and get materials fast. New year, new projects at the lowest prices. Shop online at thewindowdepot.com or visit a location near you.
We are the rush, the pulse, the thrill you didn't see coming. Welcome to Club Soul at Casino del Sol, where Tucson's best just got better. Join Club Soul today and get $20 free play. That's right, your first play is on us. Play, earn, and unlock exclusive rewards that take your experience to the next level. More thrills, more perks, more of what makes Casino del Sol unforgettable. We are Club Soul, only only at Casino del Sol and Casino of the Sun. Enterprise of the Bosco Yaqui Tribe.
Experiencing the natural wonders comes easy at Rockin' Cay. Nestled at the base of the Rincon Mountain foothills, enjoy stunning mountain views up close every day. Visit Lennar's 2 communities in Rockin' Cay with home savings up to $25,000 and limited time interest rate and closing cost incentives on select move-in ready homes. LiveRockingK.com. Designed by nature. Proud U of A radio broadcast sponsor.
Discover your perfect vehicle at Cactus Auto, Tucson's trusted destination for certified pre-owned cars for over 30 years. They offer a wide range of certified pre-owned vehicles featuring the brands and models you love. Their finance experts are here to provide you with top dollar trade-in offers and help you find the best financing options, regardless of your credit history. With approved credit, enjoy no payments for up to 90 days. Trust Cactus Auto for quality, affordable pre-owned cars, trucks, and SUVs, all backed by incredible savings and a 7-day exchange guarantee. Visit cactusauto.com.
The cold Arizona nights are here. Is your furnace ready? For just $59, Right Way is offering a complete system tune-up, ensuring your furnace runs efficiently to keep your home comfortable all season long. Routine maintenance is key to avoiding costly breakdowns. And with over 11,000 5-star Google reviews, you can trust Right Way to get the job done right. Plus, we'll include a free carbon monoxide test for your peace of mind. Call Right Way today at 520-640-2665 or visit us at rightwayac.com for your $59 complete system tune-up.
Life's busy. Errands, kids, work, the I-10 grind. Who's got time to sit at a detail shop?
That's why Recon Auto Detailing comes to me. Mobile detailing keeps my car spotless without losing a minute of my day.
From mobile washes to in-shop ceramic coatings, tint, and paint protection, we're Tucson's one-stop shop for keeping your ride looking new. Convenience, care, confidence, that's Recon Auto Detailing. Ceramic Pro West, Tucson.
Looking for top-notch lumber and framing? Johnson Manley Lumber has been your trusted expert since 1970, specializing in both residential and commercial projects. Our experienced teams, cutting-edge technology, and reliable supply chain ensure your framing is on time and on budget every time. We're proud to be employee-owned and community-rooted in Tucson. Learn more at johnsonmanley.net. Proud supporter of the University of Arizona radio broadcast. Go Wildcats.
Our Window Depot coverage of U of A basketball continues. This is the Meridian Wealth Management Arizona Gameday pregame show on Wildcats Radio 1290. Now, back to your hosts, David Kelly, the captain Kelvin Yvonne, and J.W. Madden.
Handed off Karchinkov on the right wing. Move on out to the top. Throw it inside, and there is Mo Krivas to slam it home.
Outstanding pass from Ivan Karchenkov, waiting for the roll man off the pick to get to the rim. Mo Krivas.
Krivas with his 5th double-double of the season now.
Mo Krivas, 11 points, 12 rebounds on Saturday. 35 block shots this season. Leads Arizona also this year in fouls drawn with 75. Can go to the line as well. Top-ranked Wildcats, number 13, BYU Cougars coming up tonight in Provo, Utah. Tip-off a little bit over an hour away. Let's hear, so this is a team, obviously, that is 20-0. They've got a chance to be 21-0 tonight. That would match the best start since the 2013-2014 that started 21-0. Before losing at Haas Pavilion to California. Arizona is one of 3 undefeated teams in the country. They are unanimous, undisputed number 1, getting all the votes in the coaches poll, all the votes in the AP poll so far this season. But Tommy Lloyd, as he always is, was adamant heading into this BYU game that there is no looking ahead for this team, despite the fact, as we mentioned last segment, this schedule is about to get real interesting with, again, at BYU, at Arizona State, home to Oklahoma State, at Kansas, ranked Texas Tech, ranked BYU at home, at ranked Houston, at Baylor, home to ranked Kansas, home to ranked Iowa State. That's the gauntlet of games coming up. Tommy Lloyd, though, continues to say, hey, we are just looking at tonight against BYU and no other game.
This is called the Bruce Pascoe jinx. Bruce, I'm going to go 1-0. I want to go 1-0 Monday. I want to go 1-0. I'm like the ones that come before it. I mean, I know it makes a great story for you, but inside our locker room, it's just not where our focus is. And I'm not trying to be, that old grouchy coach, but that's just the world we're living in right now. Is just let's great job today. Let's learn from it. On to the next one.
There you go. You gotta love, and that's the only way you can look at this. This Wildcat team in an unprecedented situation right now, being the undisputed first time in their history they've gotten all the votes in the AP poll. It's a special time, but you just got to play these games as they come, and you cannot let it be bigger than it is if you're the Arizona Wildcats. Koa Pete, Toby Awaka, talking about keeping that singular focus.
I think it's just important to take it one game at a time, understanding that we have a target on our back. There's a lot of media attention. There's a lot of focus on us. So just knowing that every single team that's going to come in is going to give us our best shot.
For either of you, what does 20-0 mean?
Mean anything? I mean, to us, I think, like Tobe said, we're just taking it one game at a time, trying to win one game every week. However many games we have, we're just trying to take it one game at a time. And I think we've been doing a good job at, just getting ready for these games, getting prepared, and we've been victorious. So I think we got to keep doing what we're doing and keep getting better as a team.
It's cliche, but it is exactly how this team operates under this head coach. Let's tell you what is happening in college basketball tonight. There's only one game in the Big 12 this evening, and that is this game right here. But there are games happening in the top 25.
Let's take a look at what's happening today around the rest of the country. The Wildcats Radio 1290 Game Day Scoreboard is brought to you by Goldberg and Osborne. Goldberg and Osborne, Arizona's leading injury law firm.
Well, there's actually only one other game in the top 25 tonight. It is a game, though, that involves two ranked teams, and that is number 4 Duke against Louisville. And that game right now is at the half with the Blue Devils up 10 by a score of 38-28. 38-28. Number 4 Duke, 18-1 on the season, undefeated, 7-0 in the ACC. So the Duke Blue Devils putting up a very similar season to the Arizona Wildcats this year. Duke 7-0, Clemson 7-1. That's what the ACC looks like right now at the top of it. Arizona 7-0, Texas Tech 6-1, BYU and Houston 5-1. That's what the top of the Big 12 looks like so far. Arizona women's basketball lost over the weekend. They fell to Iowa State in the first game that they've played against their former sister, Jada Williams. She would score 19 points in that ball game to lead all scorers. Arizona Golf is home this week. It was a beautiful day to play some golf over at the Omni Tucson National. It's the NIT for Arizona men's golf. In fact, programming alert, we will be out at Omni Tucson National tomorrow for the final round. Now, they did have some frost delays this morning, so they probably are not going to get through both the rounds. They played 2 rounds. They're scheduled to play 2 rounds today, and then the final round tomorrow. So there'll be some extra golf out there tomorrow if you want to get on out there. I mean, once the freeze gets off in the morning, it turns into a really nice day, but it can be cold kind of early when they start these 36-hole events in college golf. But looking forward to being out there tomorrow. We've been out on the last few years to a number of these events involving Arizona golf, and always a great time. So we'll talk to you tomorrow from Omni Tucson National. That is your scoreboard for tonight.
The Wildcats Radio 1290 Game Day Scoreboard is brought to you by Goldberg and Osborne. Goldberg and Osborne, Arizona's leading injury law firm.
All right, let's pause here 10 seconds for station identification. You're listening to Meridian Wealth Management, Arizona Game Day.
Wildcats Radio 1290 studios are brought to you by ICCU at ICCU.com. KCUB Tucson, a Cumulus media station.
Along with Kelvin Ifan and JW Madden, I'm David Kelly, getting you set for Arizona, number 1 in the country, against 13th-ranked BYU in Provo, Utah. We are 1 hour away from tip-off. We've got 30 minutes left with you on this show before we hand it over to Brian Jeffries and Reggie Geary at the Marriott Center for tonight's ball game. Number 1 versus number 13. Wildcats' first big road test here in the Big 12 Conference this year. All right, let's see if we can beat the book tonight.
Tucson, it's time to beat the book. Will the Cats beat the spread? It's time to look at the numbers and find out how you should bet the book so you can beat the book. Bet the Book is sponsored by Casino del Sol. Casino del Sol, home of award-winning dining, gaming, resorts, and golf.
All right, 40 plays in the books. DK plus 10, J-Dub plus 8. Kelvin is even through 40 plays. BYU at home getting 1.5 points tonight. Let me just, I took this down from last night, so I just want to check this line again and see if it has moved at all. We'll go with an updated line if it has moved from what it was when I actually wrote this down last night. Arizona, yes, still 1.5, but the over-under has moved 2 points to 166.5. So actually, that's 4 points. Wow, the over-under has moved 4 points since last night on this game. So we'll start with you, Kelvin. Arizona minus 1.5 tonight against BYU.
Minus 1.5. Yeah, no, I'll take that because I think Arizona wins this game by 6 at their place. I think they're going to be locked in and motivated to prove to people that, this 20-0 isn't a fluke.
So Kelvin is laying the 1.5, taking the Wildcats and laying that 1.5. J-Dub, what do you think?
I agree. I think the biggest issue BYU is going to see tonight is, again, beyond Keba Keita, there's some freshman size, but not anything like Arizona is going to bring. And I think, for all the people out there trying to get Arizona to shoot more threes, they're going to do the opposite tonight. I think Arizona is going to pound the paint. They're going to force their will upon the Cougars. And I think, like Kelvin just said, there hasn't been a top 15 matchup on the schedule since the Alabama schools, right? And this is one they've been looking forward to. Obviously not circled it on the calendar. They're worried game by game. But this is one, Kelvin, that I feel like the Arizona Wildcats are going to go in. They've just been playing better and better and show exactly what kind of a team that they are. So I think they win by, 5 or more.
Yeah, they got to lose eventually, right? Even Tommy Loiz said, we're going to lose eventually.
Eventually.
I just don't know if that's going to be tonight, but I could see this being a very close game. I'm going to lay that too. I'm going to go with Arizona minus 1.5. I think it could be a 2-3 point game, but I think that 2 or 3 points is going to go in favor of the Wildcats. So I'll lay Arizona and 1.5. 166.5 now. This, again, is up from 162.5 yesterday. So a little bit higher over under. The under has been the play. The last 3, we're on a run now. It's like roulette. We're on a run now. Red is winning, and it's won the last 3 games. We'll go in reverse order here, so that means I get to go first on this one. I've steadily played the over, and I just think both these teams are going to score tonight. So I'm going to go over on that. 166.
Yeah, 166. Yeah, I definitely agree both teams are going to score. I just think that number is a little too high for me. 83-84 is the final there. And, yeah, I mean, I think it's going to be a high-scoring game. What's that?
83-84?
Yeah, no. I just mean like 160 means that, both teams have to either both score 80 or combine for something thereabouts. If it's 100 to whatever. But I just think that's a little bit too high. I think they're going to both score. I think both teams are comfortably over 70, but I don't see them both scoring mid-80s in this game.
Okay. Kelvin.
I agree with J-Dub on that one. I definitely think it's under that. I think it's going to be more of a defensive battle than people think.
All right, so J-Dub and Kelvin are taking the under. I'll go over. Everybody's taking U of A and laying the 1.5 points tonight. We'll find out who beats the book after the game.
That is how you bet the book so you can beat the book. Bet the Book is sponsored by Casino del Sol. Casino del Sol, home of award-winning dining, gaming, resorts, and golf.
All right, Arizona headed down to the Marriott Center. It's going to be a lot of blue. It's going to be a lot of loud, but Toby Awaka knows this team is ready for it.
Honestly, it's just about staying true to who we are, honestly. Obviously, kudos to BYU. They're a great team. They're having a great season. But we just got to focus on what we do as a team, what's gotten us this far. Just the key things that have, that coach has been harping on, rebounding, defense, staying true to who we are, in terms of our identity. So, yeah.
There you go. All right. Wildcats, Cougars, it is coming up for you right here. Wildcats Radio 1290, K-Hit 107.5. We've got one more segment to go with you from here. We'll get our keys to the game. We'll give you the starting lineup. We'll, if you want to give us your keys to the game, 520-848-1290. 520-848-1290. Our guy Fred Scheib has checked in with his keys, as he always does. We'll let you know what he thinks from New Jersey. Hopefully he's not snowed in tonight, because I heard it was snowing pretty good over there on the east side of the world. Meridian Wealth Management Arizona Game Day continues after this timeout on Wildcats Radio 1290.
This is Meridian Wealth Management Arizona Game Day. Hour 3 of the pregame show is brought to you by ABC Heating and Cooling, Arizona Commercial Lighting, Blue Sky Pest Control, Broadway and Tucson's 20th anniversary season, Cool Willie's Air and Plumbing, First Choice Pools, Goldberg and Osborne, The Injury Lawyers, Gospel Rescue Mission, Kaiser Garage Doors and Gates, O'Reilly Chevrolet, Shamrock Heating and Cooling, Showtime Sports Cards, Tucson Appliance Company, and by Meridian Wealth Management. Wealth well managed, life well lived.
There's never a good time for plumbing issues.
No.
Honey, my parents are here.
Oh, man.
Don't worry. With Drain Masters in Tucson, not only do you get local, professional, full-service plumbing with 24/7 scheduled or emergency service, you get a lifetime transferable warranty on all house water repiping. So this...
They brought my aunts and uncles, too!
is gonna be fine. Drain Masters, we do it all. And now offering financing. Solid service, fair price, guaranteed. DrainMastersTucson.com.
Up your game in a new Buick or GMC from Royal Buick GMC. At Royal, we always deliver a quality vehicle at a great price. Score a great deal with our no-pressure, non-commissioned sales staff and our transparent online pricing. Plus, Royal offers a 72-hour buyback guarantee. Score big at Royal Buick GMC, the dealership that's different. See dealer for details. Royal Buick GMC in the Tucson Auto Mall or RoyalTucson.com.
Did you know collecting sports cards is one of the fastest growing hobbies around? Whether you're looking to start or expand your collection, Showtime Cards is your ultimate destination. As one of the leading card shops in the country, they've been serving our community for over 25 years with the best in sports cards and trading card games. From rare finds to the latest releases, Showtime Cards has it all. Check them out at ShowtimeCards.com or visit them today at 5801 East Speedway. And discover why collectors everywhere trust Showtime Cards for their passion.
Your support has given me a safe place to sleep, a shower, and food in my stomach. Thank you.
The programs here have been life-changing. Thank you.
Thanks to your support, I now have the resources to maintain my sobriety.
Here I found a safe place to heal, and I found my way to God. Thank you.
Your support has made me a better mother and provided me a safe place in my recovery with me and my children.
Thank you. Thank you. If you would like to help, or if you know someone who needs help, go to grmtucson.com.
It's your time to shine. This is Desert Diamond Casino, the spot with Arizona's only hometown sportsbook, the hottest slots and tables, and off-the-charts energy you won't find anywhere else. Here, there's always a fun-filled, action-packed, downright unforgettable night right around the corner. So let your hair down, turn the sparkle all the way up. It's time to live the diamond life. Desert Diamond Casino.
An enterprise of the Donna Ogden Nation.
Hi, this is Natalie Fernandez with Meridian Wealth Management. As a boutique fiduciary investment firm, our clients have trusted us to guide them down their financial paths for decades. Whether you are an individual or family, business, foundation, or nonprofit, we are committed to your long-term goals and financial futures. We are proud supporters of the Tucson community and all that makes our city so special. Visit online at meridianwealthllc.com to learn more about Meridian today.
Advisory services provided by Meridian Wealth Management, a registered investment advisor.
Think of waking up with energy, standing tall and feeling free. Think First Chiropractic, good health is to enjoy.
For over 30 years, Tucson has been putting its trust in First Chiropractic for auto and on-the-job injuries. They're locally owned and a proud sponsor of the U of A radio broadcasts. So if you've been injured, make the right choice first.
First Chiropractic, good health is to enjoy.
Oh, no, not the sink. Not now.
Plumbing issues can put your life on pause. But with anytime emergency scheduling, the neighborly done right promise, and more, Mr. Rooter Plumbing will have your life flowing again in no time.
All fixed.
Much better.
Mr. Rooter is proud to cheer on the Cats. Mention this ad for 10% off any plumbing service. A win for the whole family. Bear down, Arizona.
Mr. Rooter Plumbing,
a neighborly company.
Our Window Depot coverage of U of A basketball continues. This is the Meridian Wealth Management Arizona Gameday pregame show on Wildcats Radio 1290. Now, back to your hosts, David Kelly, the captain Kelvin Yvonne, and J.W. Madden.
Bradley into the lane. Kick it out, Pete. 3 ball straight away. It's good for Cohen. Alexis of Tucson Charity 3. 4th made this year for Koa Pete.
Koa does not make a lot of threes, so if you can get one here and there, it's not a bad thing. He does lead the U of A in scoring in Big 12 games at 16, 4 double-doubles this season, 17.7 rebounds on Saturday against the West Virginia Mountaineers. What will he have in store for his friend, A.J. Dybantsa? They played together, coming up on that USA Basketball U19 circuit. I think Koa's got 4 gold medals. Dybantsa has 3. So they were right next to each other, knocking off a lot of international competition. Tommy Lloyd coached them both last summer on that run of the U19 crew over at the World Cup. Tommy on having a chance to coach the freshman star for BYU that he'll face tonight.
First off, he's an incredible talent, and he's a great young man. I mean, that's the first thing you want to say about him. You know, what I've always been impressed about with AJ is, you know, not only is he a supreme talent, and when you guys watch the game, he's gonna do a few things in that game. You're like, wow. I mean, just the way he moves is different. Is he leaves space in the room for the other players to be their best version of themselves too. And, you know, a lot of times you get a young talent like him, and he's so talented, he can kind of suck the air out of the room because it all becomes about him and his talent. AJ's not like that. So AJ not only can be, you know, the most talented player on the floor, he can also let their other talented players play really well. And I've always been impressed with that.
How did you create that with him in USA? Did that come by itself, or you're trying to create that? And yet, he averaged 14. I assume he could over his level.
I didn't coach him any different than anybody else. I mean, I was, you know, with AJ for basically a month, and he was great. I mean, you know, we just treated him like everybody else, and I think that's what he wants. And you know, I never talked to him about, you know, it's all the things he had nothing to do with me. They were 100% natural and authentic to who he was. You know, talent, unselfishness, you know, not afraid of the moment. So, yeah, and I just super impressive young man and basketball player.
When you say the way he moves is different, what do you mean by that?
And I don't know if I mean, whatever, he's long. He's got great length, and, you know, just the way he moves on the court and how much ground he can cover with his steps and his little hops and you know, his length of his sweep throughs and all this stuff. And then, you know, he's a great athlete. I mean, you'll just see. I mean, I don't know if I have enough descriptions, but he moves different, and he moves like a really talented young basketball player, like really talented.
Yeah, Louisville's Mikel Brown Jr. Was also on that team. last summer. That was a pretty talented group that Tommy Lloyd had at that 2025 U19 World Cup. The FIBA World Cup, as the guy from the State House said a couple weeks ago. He's not in tune with FIBA. He's in tune with the FIBA.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, it's going to be fun. It's just going to be fun watching those guys out there battle tonight and what this team can do. This is a game like this is why I get worried, because stars like this, we saw him step up, rivalry game, didn't really understand what the rivalry game was, he said afterwards, but he understands what this game is. And so he's going to be amped to try to come out there and put up a huge performance for his team tonight. AJ Dybantsa and Koa Pete's soft spoken, so he you don't necessarily get a ton of energy out of him in terms of what he says and when he talks about these games, but that he's very competitive under that soft demeanor, under that quiet demeanor, I should say. So he's going to be wanting to go out there and say, I don't want this guy that I like him, but I don't want him out there putting stuff up on me tonight.
On that note, Kelvin, it seems like Koa and Ivan Karchenkov have a lot in common like that, because Koa famously is the youngest of 7 with multiple uncles and dad who played in the NFL, right? So in Ivan Karchenkov, we talked a lot about going to Bayern Munich as a 12-year-old. I mean, Kelvin, when you talk trash as a 13, 14, 15-year-old to people who are much older than you and much more physically superior to you, you stop talking after a certain point. And I don't see Koa doing a lot of talking. I don't see Ivan. Ivan hypes himself up after he's done something, but I'm talking about instigating talking. So soft-spoken, let their game talk for them.
Yeah, I agree with you. I agree with you there, man. But I also see a little edge to Pete. I think it's quiet right now. Mm-hmm. But I think at the end of the day, if I have to look at his game, and it's bully ball. I mean, I think at the end of the day, he has a lot of Walker in him, and him and Walker are kind of the same, just with more ball handling, and he has some more skills, some different passing skills or whatnot. But yeah, man, I think he's a real tough player. He don't say a lot, but when you watch how physical, you can see the other coaches on the other team complaining about him and Walker and Creevis all the time.
As we mentioned before, Tommy Lloyd is very focused, singularly focused with this team, likes his team to be kind of the same way. Don't make this moment too big. Don't make what we're doing too big. We haven't really done anything quite yet. We talked about the fact that the road starts tonight. A very difficult road begins tonight with this game at BYU. The games are going to get much harder in this Big 12 as they go along, but they navigated it last year. And Tommy, for the guys that are back and are leading this thing, the Jaden Bradleys and those of the worlds, the Toby Awakas, he understands, and he wants them to understand that we're singularly focused, but we can't also be afraid of what's to come over the course of the next 3 weeks.
We need to continue to understand we're going to be in a lot of tough moments and tough environments, and we got to stay steady and be poised. But again, I don't think we can't be afraid to make teams hit our fastball and be aggressive and still be in attack mode. And we don't need to be conservative. We're protecting nothing because we've done nothing. We're a program that's more excited about what lies ahead than protecting what we've already accomplished.
That's Tommy Lloyd. Let's get in a few of your thoughts. We got Hold My Cup on YouTube saying bear down Arizona. Tape Boy says big Koa game today. Appreciate you, Tape Boy, for checking in. Our guy, Fred Scheib, he says 8 to 18 inches of snow in New Jersey. Everything's closed today. Storm over now. Roads, schools delayed to 10 a.m. tomorrow. His keys to the game, keep rotation changing. 2-day turnaround with the game at altitude. Keep the rotation changing. Get some other people in there today. Fast start. Like to see that. I agree there. No earlier stupid fouls. Don't reach. Can't do that. 3-point D, going to be important. He mentioned, obviously, quick turnaround. Very similar to what's going to be happening in March. One of the reasons why Kevin Young, he's jonesed about playing Saturday and turning around playing Monday.
I actually like when the regular season schedule gets funky because I think it prepares you well for the postseason. You never know kind of like how quick your turnarounds are going to be and that kind of thing. So especially when you have to do it and get ready to play a good team, which is what will happen in March. And so I think it'll be a good thing we can reference even later in the year for that.
There you go. Kevin Young liking this Friday to Sunday. Very NCAA tournament-like. Our guy Paul Phoenix checks in, says, hey, whether it's 1 point or 1.5 points in favor of the Wildcats, I'm giving away the points and taking my boys. As for the over-under, I think I'm going to go with the under. So Paul is going with Kelvin and J-Dub on the under. I'm the only one taking the over tonight. I think it's going to be 93-90. I'll say that right now. That's what I'm seeing tonight in Provo.
Yeah, I mean,
Utah.
basketball fans are hoping for 120 to 121 in triple overtime.
There you go. All right, let's find out what we think the Wildcats need to do to win this game tonight.
Wildcats fans, what are the big keys for today's game? Our keys to the game are brought to you by Royal Automotive Group. Royal Automotive Group, the dealership that is different.
All right, my number one key, guys, is I think you got to keep, again, A.J. Dybantsa, coming off a game he scored 43 points. He can score at all three levels. He gets to the basket better than any freshman that I've seen this year. But I think the key is going to be keeping him off the free throw line tonight, because if he goes to the line 10-plus times in this game, Arizona could have real big issues. And I'll go back, and I know our guy Fred in Jersey's talked about it a lot. The fouling. This is not the guy you want to foul tonight in A.J. Dybantsa. He's a very good free throw shooter, and he goes to the line a lot. So if you can keep him off the line, I think you've got a shot tonight. Let's keep him under 5 free throws. What do you say in this game tonight? I think also the other thing I've always talked about in games like this on the road, defend the 3-point line. They're going to be at home. They're going to have that crowd, and threes are going to get that joint jumping at the Marriott Center. So contesting at the 3-point line going to be equally important in this ball game tonight. And I think if the Wildcats can, again, keep the turnovers down like they've done in some of these big games, West Virginia over the weekend, at Alabama, keep those turnovers 7 or under, give yourself those possessions, extra possessions. I think that's going to be key tonight for the Wildcats as well in this huge road game in Provo. Kelvin, what do you think the Wildcats need to do to win tonight?
Well, I think you definitely covered it on AJ, but I also want to add with AJ, I think you want to be there on the catch, but you want to give him a little room. I think he's only shot like 53s this year, so give him a little room because he wants to drive. You don't want to overplay him and give him back doors and give him easy access to get to the rim too fast for the help to come. With that being said, I want the help to be early to force him to shoot the pull-up jumper. If he's going to beat you, make him beat you with the pull-up jumper. As far as the other guys go, I think you have to stay with him. You can't leave to come and help off of him with guards. I think it has to be a big, and the backside guard have to dig down, so the defensive rotation is going to have to be tight. I think we have to be prepared to play against a 2-3 zone or some form of zone. So our zone offense has to be on deck and ready to go. I think we need to send at least 3 guys to the boards. As far as on the offensive boards, I think it'll force them to send all 5 guys to rebound and to take away some fast break opportunities.
Yeah, for me, I think it just starts with generally making it tough on AJ and Richie Saunders. I think those are the 2 guys that make the team go. Robert Wright III obviously can get busy with it, the sophomore transfer from Baylor. But it's really Richie Saunders, the senior, AJ Dybantsa, the freshman. I'd like to see under 45% field goals in general. They're going to see multiple defenders. We'll see Aristode. We'll see Karchenkov. We'll see JB on some of those guys at times. Just make sure you keep a hand in their face. The philosophy is either let them get theirs because the other guys can't, or you try to shut down their main scorers. Those are their 2 main scorers. I just don't think that the support staff can knock down big shots with other defenders in their face if you take care of them. Secondly, I'd like to see him go right at Kebaketa. I think he comes off his man to block shots a lot, and the way that Arizona plays inside out, if you force the ball inside to Moteus Krivas, to Tobe Awake when he gets in there, go right at Kebaketa's chest. He only plays about 21 minutes, but he's an impact guy. And third, take care of the ball. I think less than 12, maybe 15 at most turnovers. The 2 losses that this Cougars team have is when they were underwater on more turnovers than they had assists. They had that versus Iowa State the other night. So if you take care of the ball yourself and then do a decent job of getting in the passing lane, JB getting in Wright's grill, that whole thing. Try to turn the Cougars over a little bit, and that'll be key tonight for me in Provo for the Arizona Wildcats getting a win.
That's what we think the Wildcats need to do to beat BYU.
Those are our keys for today's game. The keys to the game. Brought to you by Royal Automotive Group. Royal Automotive Group, the dealership that is different. The foundation of a great basketball team begins with the starting lineup. Today's starting lineup is brought to you by Rocking K, a master plan community designed by nature.
Jaden Bradley at one guard, senior out of Rochester, New York, averaging 14 points and 5 assists. Braden Burries is a freshman from San Bernardino, California, 15 points and 3 assists. The man in the middle, Motias Krivas, 7'2" out of Chule. He's averaging 12 points and 9 rebounds. Ivan Karchinkov, one forward out of Munich, Germany, a freshman, 9 points on the season. Koa Pete, the freshman out of Chandler, 15 points and 6 boards on the season. Tommy Lloyd is the head coach. Coming up next right here on Wildcats Radio 1290 and K-Hit 107.5, Arizona number 1. Number 13, BYU. We'll talk to you after the game. Bear down, Arizona.
Wildcat fans, why wait for a great night's sleep? At Factory Direct Mattress of Tucson, you get comfort for life and deals you can't get anywhere else. Shop top-rated brands like the award-winning Puffy, Lisa, and our FDM lineup, all at Factory Direct Savings. No gimmick, no pressure, just comfort that helps you wake up feeling like a champion. Find us at 3936 West Ina Road or at fdmtucson.com. That's fdmtucson.com. Easy to find, easy to say. Stop by today, sleep better tonight, and get ready for Arizona's next victory.
At Goldberg and Osborne, we know Arizona. It's where we live. It's where we work. It's where we've fought and won cases for the injured since 1989. Throughout our history, we've approached every case with a single focus: you. And we've got thousands of 5-star reviews to prove it. Put us to work for you by calling 1-800-THE-EAGLE today.
Hey, Eugene, what's with the giant pile of scratcher tickets?
With these scratchers, I'll win enough dough to enroll in the UberTube car repair classes and finally know how to fix your car right.
Well, then keep on scratching, Eugene.
Good luck on that, guys. But if you need a sure thing, check out Jack Furrier Tire and Auto Care. No appointment necessary, call ahead's welcome, or just stop by any of the 14 area locations.
And check out our full page of promotions and discounts at jackfurriers.com.
Jack Furrier Tire and Auto Care since 1960, here to get you there.
Up your game in a new Buick or GMC from Royal Buick GMC. At Royal, we always deliver a quality vehicle at a great price. Score a great deal with our no-pressure, non-commissioned sales staff and our transparent online pricing. Plus, Royal offers a 72-hour buyback guarantee. Score big at Royal Buick GMC, the dealership that's different. See dealer for details. Royal Buick GMC in the Tucson Auto Mall or royaltucson.com.
Hi, I'm Jordan Benjamin with Done Right Services. When your home or business needs HVAC, plumbing services, or electrical work, choose a genuine local Tucson company, Done Right Services. With decades of trusted experience and upfront pricing, Done Right Services treats every customer like a valued neighbor. From upgrades to urgent repairs, our licensed professionals deliver quality, care, and craftsmanship you can count on, getting it done right. Call Done Right Services today at 520-369-3966 because you deserve it done right.
If you could rewind 10 years, what would you do differently? Buy Apple stock at $20? Skip the Ghost Pepper Challenge? Maybe even rethink the skinny jeans. Nate here, owner of Blue Sky Pest Control. Some regrets are harmless, termite damage isn't. You can't go back in time, but you can keep termites from eating your future. Call Blue Sky Pest Control today for your free termite inspection. Hello, Blue Sky. Goodbye, pests.
Day in and day out, we're inundated with commercials asking to review your portfolio or telling you to get a second opinion. This is Natalie Fernandez with Meridian Wealth Management, and I want to share the advice I give people every day. Talk to 3 different advisors at 3 different firms. It's important to understand their differences and find someone you can trust. I want Meridian to be one of your 3, and then you will decide who is best for you. To learn more, call us at 719-1433 today.
Advisory services provided by Meridian Wealth Management, a registered investment advisor.
You know it, your neighbors know it, and let's face it, the mailman knows it too.
Your yard just isn't what it used to be. But thankfully, Dorado Rock Materials can get you, well, your yard anyway, back to what it once was, and even better. Dorado Rock Materials has just what your yard needs, from decorative rock to boulders and everything in between, brought right to you. And if you need help spreading it, we can help with that too. Dorado Rock Materials. The right service, the right product, the right price.
Aristode, who grabs the ball out of the air, weaves his way up to Burries the other way. Burries drives, jumping up and scoring.
When it comes to basketball, nothing beats Wildcat basketball.
A walk to the offensive rebound, knocked away, gets it back, lay it up, good, and he's fouled.
It's a man's game, and Tobe Awaka is a grown man.
This is University of Arizona Wildcat basketball, and this is the Hughes Federal Credit Union Countdown to Tip-Off show.
Rebound Previous for the Wildcats. Lead pass down to Pete. Pete lost the defense. The bucket! Hammer it home!
Stay tuned for a complete preview of today's game, including a look at the Cats' opponent, scores from games around the country, and the pregame thoughts of head coach Tommy Lloyd. Countdown to Tip-Off is brought to you by Hughes Federal Credit Union. Visit hughesfcu.org/Wildcats to learn why Arizona fans choose Hughes. Now, Arizona Sports Enterprises is proud to present Wildcat Basketball.
Monday night on the Wasatch Front, a pair of top 25 teams meet for the first time.